welcome to episode 30 of the ReelTok Podcast. I'm here with my beautiful co-hosts, as always, Cam, George, and Tyler. We've got a pretty packed episode today. We've got a few reviews, including Dungeons & Dragons, Honor Among Thieves, Evil Dead Rises, Suzume, George? Suzume, and then also the Mandalorian episode as well. We've got some news, of course, some movie news, some comic book news, all that good stuff. Then we'll, of course, be going over what we've been watching throughout the week. And then we have a significant others draft or a genres movie draft, which we've spoken about before. We'll be doing that at the end as well. Before we get into everything, none of this uptick in content production would be possible without a Patreon. This week's Patrons were able to ask us questions, obviously provide movies for us to review, ask us whatever they want to. And also, we've got an active Discord in the Discord as well, which is very, very active at the minute, which we're talking a lot, and which is really, really great to see as well. If you want to check out our tiers, just hit the link in our bio. Have a look at tiers, have a look at the benefits we can offer you. And we are actually soon going to hit 1,000 ratings on Spotfiy. I think we're at 940 something, I think it is now. 940, okay, yeah. Still at a 5-star, which is fantastic, and hitting 1,000 would be huge. We don't see many do that, especially within keeping the 5-star rating as well. So massive appreciation for that. But before we go into everything, how is everyone this week? Tyler, how have you been doing?
Yeah, I've been good. I was in Boston this week for work, so nice to get out of the warm weather and experience some spring. And I forgot how much I missed that. Like just the crisp spring feeling. Like I think the days I was in Boston is probably like 45 degrees Fahrenheit, but like, you know, perfectly sunny and like nice out, like those nice like early spring days. So yeah, it was fun. It sucked like because I traveled on Tuesday there and Thursday back, and I crossed 3 time zones each way. So like going back and forth 3 time zones in like a 48-hour period, like definitely like was not good for the sleep schedule. But I feel like I'm recovered at this point. But yeah. Pretty solid week all in all. Nothing really to complain about. Just been doing a lot of projects in the house this weekend, and yeah, now here we are on Sunday with the ReelTok episode. So yeah.
And now you've become a Impractical Jokers TikToker full time.
He really has. Man.
Yeah, I've always been a huge fan of that show. I've just never made like a TikTok about him, but like I've always been a big fan of the show. I've been like rewatching it a lot more lately. But yeah, probably for the past, like, I don't know, 5 years or so, it's been like a constant rotation show for me.
The result of your poll on Twitter of who's the best shocked me. I thought Sal would sweep.
I knew Sal would, or no, I knew Q would be last.
So. Yeah, Q would definitely last.
I thought his poll.
I think Sal is.
Q's my favorite, which I was surprised he was the last, but whatever, it's okay.
Q's not the fan favorite though. It's Joe or it's Murr.
Yeah, which I'm surprised because I thought Murr is like, I don't know. I think he's my least favorite by like a mile.
Really?
Yeah.
I like Murr.
Murr was at the John Wick premiere. He sat right behind me.
Really?
Yeah.
That poll order is how I would go, but I'm a basic bitch. So.
I think. Well, I did a poll on Instagram stories and Twitter, and I'm pretty sure they have like pretty different results. So I thought that was pretty interesting too.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Cameron, how have you been this week? I know you've not had the best week, have you?
Yeah, just long week. Long weekend. Are you guys not coffee guys?
I feel like I'm always coffee guys.
Well, you're more middle of the day, but I feel like whenever we hop on these things, I'm the only one that's like got a nice cup of Joe. But yeah, I don't know. Long week. I'll try to get some energy for this. I'm trying to be dad/podcaster right now. I'm letting Emma sleep a little bit. So my son's we got a new little playpen. It's awesome because then we can just leave him in there and he can't hurt himself. And so just sit there for hours, which we would never do. Obviously, we would obviously pick him up and play with him. But it does help a lot for like making dinner and stuff. Can finally like put him somewhere and have him do that. Yeah, I don't know. Good week. Go Star Wars, I guess. That's all I got. Move on.
How's your Star Wars watch through coming along? Where are you up to?
I'm 4.5 seasons into the animated Clone Wars show. So this week I've killed probably 2 seasons. You know, half of season 2, half of season 4, and then I killed all of season 3.
Can you tell me when you start season 7? Because I'll watch it with you.
Yeah, that's so good. It's season 3 is actually a lot better. I think the first 4 seasons are very okay, but season 3 is actually pretty good. Not blown away by season 4, but We'll get to that. That's what I've been watching. So
basically, off the top of your head, like what percentage of like the Star Wars watch through would that be? Like where you are right now, just like a random number.
It's 2 movies, and that's definitely that. So that's the longest show.
Yeah, easily.
By miles.
You didn't watch Revenge of the Sith yet, right? You're watching.
No, we'll call it 20%.
So when is this show set then?
The show is set in between Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith. It's the Clone Wars. There's like a 5-year time jump in between the 2 movies, and it's
okay, yeah.
And the worst part of the movies is that they're always like, oh, remember this time? I'd like to see that time because that sounds wildly more interesting than your politics in these fucking movies. So the show helps, but I still don't think it saves the movies like a lot of people try to argue.
It doesn't save the movies, but
it's fine. It helps.
Fair enough.
Do you think the Clone? Sorry to digress. Do you think the Clone Wars is better as a whole than the prequel and sequel trilogy?
Like the Clone Wars show?
Yeah.
I'm a sequel defender other than the Rise of Skywalker, so I feel like I gotta say that's better because I do like the Force Awakens and the Last Jedi a lot.
Okay.
But the prequels, yeah,
I take it over both trilogies.
That's fair.
Fair enough.
Good show.
George, how's your week been? I know you went to was it a premiere? Was it like an early screening?
It was it was labeled a special screening.
So it was pretty cool. Yeah, it was Makoto Shinkai's new movie Suzume, which was pretty cool. I'll give my spoiler-free thoughts a little bit later, and I really cannot wait for you guys to watch it so we can dive a bit more into it. But my week's pretty good. It was my last week of unemployment. I start work tomorrow.
Wow, was that your last week? It's gone so quick.
Yeah, 3 weeks blew by. So start up on work tomorrow, so I'll issue an apology to all my TikTok followers now. The content is going to be dead for the next week or so. I'll try my hardest.
You've stayed active during this time then, at least, haven't you? You've posted
I've tried to post like once a day or twice a day in the last 3 weeks, but even so, I should have batched up so many drafts and I just didn't, but it is what it is. So yeah, work starts on Monday. Really excited to get back into like a routine. But other than that, pretty good week. I've felt like shit all weekend, which kind of sucks. Terrible way to end my unemployment. So.
As in physically or?
No, I don't know. I think it's just like congestion and allergies, but I've never been hit this hard by congestion and allergies. So I don't really know. But yeah, other than that, I had a pretty good week, pretty calm week, relaxing week.
Fair enough. As far as myself goes, pretty good. Nothing really much going on this week. Obviously watched a fair few films. I haven't really done anything in particular. I obviously missed out on going to the Dragons and Den thing. Dragons and Den?
The
Jesus
what?
Christ, man.
Dungeons and Dragons, bro.
Dragons Den is like a TV show here, which is like Shark Tank. I think it is for you guys.
Yeah, we have Shark Tank.
Yeah, I watched an episode last night, so it must just be in my head. Had a really good week though, pretty sound. Anna was off work this week, so we got like some stuff done at home, which was quite nice. But yeah, I think other than that, we'll move on to the big release this week, really, which unfortunately only me and Tyler watched. George, I think you'll like it. I think you will.
I think I will. It's so annoying because I came home Thursday night, and theaters in New York City don't, and I don't know if it's the same around you, Tyler, in Arizona, but theaters around me don't start showing films until 3 p.m. But like the movies, but the movie's 2 hours. I had like my timing didn't line up, so I'm like, literally, if there was a showing at 1 or 2 p.m. somewhere, I would have been there. And then I came home for the weekend and just didn't want to go to the theater.
Not even like major ones.
None of the AMCs.
My screening was like 10:30 or something.
On weekends, on weekends it's all day, but weekdays doesn't start until 3.
Really?
So annoying.
The AMCs around here don't start until like 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon, which is weird. But my other theater chain I go to starts at like 10 a.m. So I usually go to that one.
Yeah, like
fair enough.
So annoying.
Yeah. Obviously, me and Tyler watched it though. Tyler, let's be honest. The hype going into this film wasn't high. I think we can.
Well, it wasn't, and then it was. It wasn't until like screening started.
When we first got the original trailer and the first batch of posters, there was not many people who were excited. I think we can all say, we can say shit like don't judge a film by the poster, don't judge a film by the trailer, whatever. But we all were judging it. We said it on the podcast as well. It looked shit. It did. It looked cringy. It looked just. I've always said that like a mix of like high fantasy with comedy is really a really hard thing to accomplish. It's a recipe for disaster in most cases. However, I was really pleasantly surprised. I think you were too, but you watched it a while ago, did you not? Or like,
yeah, I think I watched it like 2 weeks ago at this point. But I was pleasantly surprised. Like you said, like the posters, the trailers, and the cast as well was just something that didn't really inspire me to think this is going to be something exceptional. I feel like for me, like Chris Pine, especially since he's like, you know, the lead of this film, even though they're all kind of equal, but I'd say he's like the lead star. I usually just find most of his films to be very middle of the road. I feel like he's a very just average actor in terms of like the projects he's in, at least. But yeah, I was pleasantly surprised. I had a lot of fun with this. How do you pronounce it? Is it Reggie Jean Page?
Reggie Jean Page.
Yeah,
Reggie Jean Page.
Yeah.
He was probably my favorite performance in the movie. And then Justice Smith, surprisingly, which kind of surprised me because like I saw Sharper, which came out just a couple weeks ago with him, and I just didn't. I just haven't loved his performances in general for most things, but for this movie at least, I thought Justice Smith might have been one of my favorite performances.
I thought he was really funny.
Yeah, I thought he was probably my favorite here. The shapeshifter girl, like I don't know, like just like a lot of the scenes her character was in, the way they used her was just like awesome. Yeah, just had a lot of fun with this. The set pieces were super cool. The fantasy elements were awesome. Consistent laughs throughout. A plot that I was engaged with. Nothing like completely blew me away, but there was nothing that was really bad about it. So I think I was just like consistently having a very, very fun time with this. And yeah, I walked away with a 3.5 out of 5 stars, which is everything I could have wanted and more from this movie. I couldn't have expected that going into it. So yeah, and I brought Riley with it as well, and she said that was like she's like, it's been a long time because she goes to a decent amount of movies with me. She's like, it's been a long time since I've like gone to a movie with you that had like that much fun in the theater. So fun movie, thumbs up for me. That's my quick thoughts on it.
Yeah, I mean, we can go into some spoilers, but there's not really.
I didn't see it.
Yeah, we'll speak to that. Right? Like, I had probably a little bit of a better time with you, but I'll give it a 4 out of 5. This is the most I've laughed in a cinema in a good long while, Tyler. You know, the scene, for example, with the graves where they have to ask 5 questions.
Do you like that? Damn it. That was that was like in a trailer. And I didn't find that funny. Maybe
it might work better when you watch it in the entirety.
I don't know. This is the thing. The trailer, it looks like this like whippy like what's happening comedy that you see in a lot of Marvel projects, stuff like that. But it's really not. It's genuine.
Yeah. That to me was like, I'm like, this is just like a Marvel.
Well, I thought that, yeah, but it's a lot.
Okay.
It's I don't know. It's a lot more intelligent humor, I think. Tyler, and there was another scene as well when he was singing with the guitar.
I'm trying to think which one. Singing with the guitar.
And he was singing with the guitar, and he was asking questions, and they had to kind of slow him down, and then it was like a clone of him at the end.
Yeah,
made me howl. But I just think it was really fun, man. Like, I think I will say one negative for me was they tried to lean too hard into exposition of each character. When they introduced each character, they had to try and go into this massive backstory and like tell it to the viewer, which was kind of annoying at points. But I would say like it was just fun seeing these weird characters after every like 2 seconds. You would go in after every minute and see a new character who was just a weird, wacky design. It kind of lent into the fact it was self-aware. It was silly. It was ambitious. It was humor. And I would actually say, Tyler, the action sequences were good as well.
I would agree. Cam, you have a question?
Yeah. Do you think that like they went into... That's me lifting my cat off. I like to not see these movies because it's more fun when I get to ask these questions. Do you think they went into this exposition because they thought like Dungeons and Dragons, every character has like an absurd amount of lore, and they were like, we have to do that as well?
I thought so, but then from people I spoke to who actually are players of it or have played it, some of the stuff wasn't really necessary to the actual game itself.
Okay.
So I think they did, for me anyway, from what I've heard, go too much in detail with the exposition on show. But I mean, counter for that, there was some like Tyler said with the cast. I wasn't that excited by the cast.
No,
I think Hugh Grant was also really good. I really liked his performance.
Yeah,
you're a big Hugh Grant guy, I gotta assume, right?
Not really.
Really?
No, I haven't really seen him in like a crazy amount. I think he's like, I just think he served the purpose as like the villain.
I was about to say then. I was about to say, if you were a big Hugh Grant guy, you got to watch Loki because you're a big Loki guy, and he's in it. But
is he in that?
I didn't remember Hugh Grant in it, but
he's in the MCU. Wow.
Yeah, going back to what Cam was saying, so I don't know, like, I get what Seth was saying. There's a lot of exposition at the beginning, but even though this movie's called Dungeons and Dragons, I feel like that just explained the fantasy setting. I don't know if I came away with this with any Dungeons and Dragons understanding or any more knowledge than I walked into it with.
Is this like if they made like a COD movie, but it's just war, and it's like this is Call of Duty, but it's just war with the same character names? Is that like what this is? A Dungeons and Dragons?
Like the movie doesn't start with like 4 kids playing a board game, and then they get like transported to this world, like, which I thought like they might go down that route, like as Zathura, like as Jumanji, like this is a game. It's like, oh, it starts with like, okay, we're playing this campaign, then boom, the campaign kicks off. But it's like there's just a world we're in. It's just like this is a real thing going on.
I think apparently with Dungeons and Dragons game, it's like it's like a group game. And from what I've heard, the film basically relies a lot on kind of the friendship and camaraderie and like teamwork, which I guess is kind of, in tune with the game in that regard. But I found it like, I found a majority of the characters, 95% of them, just so likable and just enjoyable to watch. And I think even though maybe the dialogue wasn't the best at times, I think it was just an enjoyable scene where you're getting these action sequences, which were surprisingly good. And I think the special effects were a lot better than I thought they were as well. I think the special effects, especially with the transformation sequences, Tyler, with the girl, I think they were really impressive.
No, totally
really impressive, really enjoyable as well. And I had a really good time. I think Anna went with me. She didn't like it as much as me. I think it's one of those that will either it'll work for you, or I know a few people who really didn't like it because it does rely heavily on comedy. If the comedy doesn't work for you, this film will not work for you because there is a joke every 5 minutes, realistically. And there is, it does pack a little bit of a punch emotionally, but I don't know about you at the end, Tyler. I wasn't really that fazed by the final sequence.
No, it didn't really pull on my heartstrings that much. But I know a lot of people said, like, they came, they laughed, they cried, they had a good time, full emotional spectrum. I agree with what you're saying with the humor, because I feel like there's a lot of, like, not to be like anti-MCU, but I feel like there's some MCU projects where people are like, oh, it's really good, but there's a couple of jokes in there that really like take you out of the moment, or kind of just like wish they didn't throw those jokes in. Whereas this is like, it's jokes in that same tone that the entire movie. So what you're getting in the first 10 minutes is what you're going to be getting like the whole movie in terms of like kind of the tone and the elements you're going to be seeing. So it's not like anything will like kind of catch you off guard with comedy, because it's kind of been like that the whole time. At this point,
it'll probably be. Sorry, Tyler, go on.
Yeah, I was gonna say at this point we're talking spoilers. There's nothing like major to spoil, but it's like, can we just like talk about some plot?
Yeah,
points?
I don't care.
Okay. Well, like
you not see it either, George?
No, I didn't see it.
No,
just give me a thumbs up when you guys are done.
Yeah, sounds good. And I don't even think, because at this point I saw it like 2 weeks ago, and I really don't even remember like how the movie ends in terms of like, there's not a big plot point resolution of some crazy thing. It's like the campaign gets carried out. I think I really enjoyed with Hugh Grant's character how they did a callback or circle back to the whole trial with the jury and kind of brought that full circle. Those scenes were funny, especially the first Chris Pine one when they broke out.
The bird who he flies out with, he pushed out the window.
Yeah,
it just looks absurdly stupid, don't you think? At the same time.
Yeah, but I don't know. It's fun.
It was so fun, like stupid in a way which was amusing, and I think the outfit design, the costume design there was so funny. I like how the people on the jurors, whatever, and in the court proceedings, they were all so different in looks, and it was just like it was really likable and funny. But yeah, carry on what you're saying. Sorry.
No, yeah, I was just saying, like, I think it was funny how they went full circle. I really enjoyed that first scene with Chris Pine where he's trying to get his freedom for the crime he was brought into prison for, basically trying to get like an early exit from his sentence, and basically they're like, they set him free, but he wasn't expecting them to set him free, so he breaks out before they even set him free. But the only like spoiler I was gonna say, which again like literally doesn't spoil anything in the movie, but that Bradley Cooper cameo, funny and so out of
Bradley
nowhere.
Cooper cameo,
out of nowhere. He plays in like an elf, like a 2'5".
Not even an elf, like a tiny. I don't even know what. I can't
see. That's what those things are fun in like these kind of stupid movies, like when they just throw a major actor into a silly role.
I didn't actually know. I don't think anyone really knew it was in it. It really did catch me off guard. Even though I'm surprised I didn't hear about it on like film Twitter. Because a lot of people have already seen it. And I saw it yesterday.
So I'm not even kidding. I'm making I was just gonna make like my five favorite comic book cameos, and it's only because like I was thinking of the Brad Pitt cameo in Deadpool 2. Seth, you haven't seen it, but they're jumping out of a plane, and there's an invisible man. That's his character. Is just like he's an invisible person. So they're jumping out of a plane, and then he just falls into like electrical wires and dies, and it's just a Brad Pitt cameo. So those are just fun to me.
It was surprising. He's like a 2 foot tall. I don't know what he is, Tyler, but he's the ex of
Michelle
Rodriguez, her character,
who's obviously like jacked and a badass,
huge and tall. Yeah,
and he's like literally 2 feet tall, and he's like sitting in that massive chair with his little legs.
Yeah, and they're like shake hands. And
yeah,
like, and then his current girlfriend comes in, who's the same size as Michelle Rodriguez's character, the same whatever.
It's like a jacked big woman.
Yeah, that was so funny.
Speaking of Michelle Rodriguez, though, like just. As I mentioned, I thought the whole cast was like uninspiring going into it. Like I was like, oh, I'm not gonna be expecting a ton out of this, but oh man, I really dislike her as an actress. I think she's really stinky. She was my least favorite performance in this movie. She was like her character, which kind of stinks that her character had so much to do in this movie, but I didn't love her performance. I watched the first 2 Fast and Furious movies last night. Don't love her performance in those.
No,
I don't think she's
good
ever
in the first one.
She's quite shit.
I think I'm with you. I didn't mind her in this, but I will say, I said to Anna as soon as we left, I was like, she was for me easily the weakest out of the cast.
Definitely.
Her line delivery, especially when it comes to some of the jokes, wasn't very good. And I think it's hard because the cast was all surprisingly funny, especially, what was his name? The guy in Sharper. What was his name?
Justice Smith.
He was really funny. He had this kind of comedic wit, and he was hilarious. And I think Chris Pine was great. I thought he was really good in this. I think I agree with you. Chris Pine is in a lot of kind of mediocre projects, but I think he's actually a really good actor, to be honest.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'd say. I'd say his projects aren't the greatest, but
I was going to ask, like, what do we feel about Chris Pine? Because
I think he's really good. I think it takes a lot to be able to do a dramatic role and a comedic role. His comedic line delivery in this film was really good, I thought. Really
because like he's in Don't Worry Darling, where he's this like
he was
scumbag just guy, and then he's also in like Wonder Woman, where he's this idiot boyfriend character, and then he's in this movie. He's in a lot of other projects like that where he's just like the idiot guy, and he's funny. I like him a lot.
I think for Chris Pine, he's a good actor, but he's just a blockbuster guy. He loves the blockbuster. Star Trek, Wonder Woman, anything that's going to be a big budget, throw Chris Pine into it, and I think for the most part that's usually why it's like it was a fine movie, but
And then my last question is, how much honor was among these thieves? Like, was there a good amount of honor?
Yeah, there was a lot of dishonor at first as well.
There was some dishonor. That's what it's built on. It's built on dishonor. But it gets honorable.
They're thieves. So
but it does get honorable. It does get honorable.
Okay. I like that.
But yeah, we don't have to go into too much with it. I give it a 4 out of 5. Tyler gave it a 3.5. What did you give it out of 10?
Yeah, 6.6 out of 10, 3.5 stars, and easily I'd say the best like positive surprise so far of the year in terms of just like low expectations turning into like a very good experience.
Yeah, I mean it's currently sat at 3.7 on Letterboxd, which is so much higher than I was expecting originally. So much higher.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll leave it there. I think definitely recommend it, watching it if you can. But if it relies heavily on the comedy, decide that we will. But it's definitely better than what it looked like off initial impressions. George, I want to take it to you because obviously you got a chance to see an early screening of Suzume, which was directed by
Makoto Shinkai,
who directed
Your Name and Weathering with You.
Yes, and we do love Your Name. I haven't seen Weathering with
Your Name, and I do urge, before I get into my review, I do urge everyone, including you guys, if you haven't seen Your Name or Weathering with You, I think you should definitely check these out before watching Suzume, because like I said in my Letterboxd review, this feels like Makoto Shinkai's like magnus opus. This feels like Robert Eggers' Nosferatu, where it's like the film that these filmmakers are just building to, like everything they've learned along their journey, everything they've done throughout their movies. They're just bringing it all together into one movie, and that's what this thing was. I'll obviously keep it spoiler free. The movie comes out April 14th in the US. Seth, I'm not sure when it comes out in the UK.
I think it's the same here. I think there might be a screening I can watch next week, actually.
Yeah, I think you'll love this movie. I think it's a really beautiful dissection of man's relationship with nature, as well as the lasting heartbreak of the Great East Japan earthquake, which again, I said this in my letterbox review. If you guys aren't familiar with the Great East Japan earthquake, I urge you to just read up on it. I had a little bit of knowledge going into it because I studied the political and the economic heartbreak of it in college, but I never really went into the social aspect of it and what it did to families. And this movie was really heartbreaking in that sense. And obviously keeping everything spoiler free, but this our main character Suzume just goes on this absolutely heroic journey to save her psyche, to save her land, her family, her friendship. There's a lot of deep themes in this movie about tragedy and loss and trauma, and also the importance of friendship and family. I think the score bangs, and obviously if you've seen Your Name, you know that Makoto Shinkai does a really good job with collaborating with composers and really putting together. It feels like Hans Zimmer with Dune. It's like he does such a good job at elevating this movie just because he brings it to life with the powerful music that he uses. And then it's Makoto Shinkai, so you're obviously going to get a lot of beautiful landscape shots, a lot of it's interesting with this movie and Shinkai because anime has obviously historically been a 2D medium. And I think there's a small transition where they're trying to move more towards 3D medium, the way, Disney, Pixar, DreamWorks are. And I think this movie is the first anime film of late that I've seen where I'm like, okay, he's really trying. Like, he's really trying to push that 3D barrier. And I really enjoyed it. I think it brought this movie to life in ways I didn't expect. So overall, and I'll end it there just because I'm going to keep it spoiler free. I cannot wait for you to watch it, Seth, so that we can really talk about it because I think you're going to love it.
I'll watch Weathering with You first because I haven't seen that yet. But I'm assuming it's going to be like this visually striking animation such as Your Name.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think the story in Weathering with You is as strong as Your Name, but I still give it a 4 out of 5. I think it's a really solid film. I still rank Your Name above Suzume. Your Name is obviously in my top 10 animated films ever, but
amazing.
Yeah, but Suzume, I still think it's amazing. It's my number 2 of the year behind John Wick. So
is that 4.5 then?
4.5. What's your number 1 of the year right now?
I don't know. I have Creed, John Wick, and Dungeons and Dragons at 4.
Yeah,
I'd probably say John Wick, Creed, Dungeons and Dragons. Top 3.
I'd imagine this was going to be your number 1, unless you see something between this time. But yeah, the event was also really cool. It was at the Museum of the Moving Image in Brooklyn. In Astoria, Queens. Makoto Shinkai was there. He talked, which was really cool to hear him speak about, his journey making this movie and how it kind of follows up Your Name and Weathering with You stylistically. So overall, amazing movie. It's my number 2 of the year. It's in my top 20 animated films of all time, which might seem a little too soon, but that's how much I fucking love this thing.
Very much so. I'm excited for it. I got a chance to watch Evil Dead Rise, which I believe comes out, George, 2 weeks.
I don't actually know.
I think it's 2 weeks. I feel like it's the end of April, actually. Maybe it's the end of April.
Yeah,
like the
April 21st.
Okay, 21st. Okay, so yeah, I got a chance to watch that this weekend. It's Evil Dead. It is Evil Dead. It's absurdly violent. It's brutal. It's disgusting. It's obscene. It's I will say it does take a while to get going with this one. Probably longer than the Evil Dead remake, which I know you watched recently.
Yeah.
But it's just once it gets going, like at the 45-50 minute mark, it's just an onslaught of sadistic carnage. There is some sequences which are just obscene, like this. I'm sure you've heard of this, the cheese grater scene, whatever. Crazy. They just seem to step it up a notch every single time. And then it was weird because I was like an hour in, and I was like, okay, there's been a few moments which are Evil Dead like, you know what I mean, with these sequences, but there's nothing that's really took me away, to the level of 2013, because I think that was also disgusting.
That movie is fucked.
Yeah. And then it hits the last 25 minutes, and I'm like, Jesus, this is fucking horrible. It really gets to a point where it's like all over the place. And so I give it a 3.5 out of 5. I think it's just ahead of the 2013 one for me. So I think it's a little bit better, in my opinion. Yeah. Still below the original 3, but again, they're 5 films into this franchise now, and in my opinion, they haven't done a bad film. So this is really, really impressive how they keep making. Obviously, Sam Raimi produced it, so he clearly hired a capable writer and director. I think it's a good spin-off, and I think it's exciting. And I think if you're an Evil Dead fan, there is no doubt in my mind you'll enjoy this. It's just obscene.
Sam Raimi producing it was so like imperative to like my wanting to see this movie, because like obviously I adore the original trilogy, and you know, a lot of times they're going to remake these movies, and you know, Alien Covenant, for example, like James Cameron doesn't like Alien Covenant, and he had no say in that movie. So this is one.
Did you not like Alien Covenant?
I like Alien Covenant. I'm saying James Cameron did.
Oh yeah, okay.
He didn't like what Ridley Scott really did with it, and it's just having Sam Raimi's name attached to this means that he has confidence in this, because I don't think Sam Raimi would have ever produced this movie and put money into it if he didn't have the utmost faith that this was gonna, you know, take care of the lore and really move this franchise forward in a way that it should have been moved forward. So that's why I'm really excited about it. It's also, I think I texted you. I was like, as long as it's gross and disgusting, I'll be chilling. And you're like, yeah, you'll be fine.
Yeah, like this is the thing. It's not gonna. It does try, I would say, a little bit more in terms of going into. There's like a story of motherhood there.
Yeah.
And it does lean on it quite a bit, and there is some good sequences. I do wish maybe it leaned on a little bit more, but again, you're watching an Evil Dead movie for exactly this, and that is exactly what you're gonna get from it. I give it 3.5 out of 5. It's sitting at 3.9 right now. Obviously, take that with a pinch of salt, because a lot of people who watch that will have gone to the premiere and stuff. Yeah. Obviously got an early screening, and I will say my early screening was on a laptop with a watermark on it as well, and I still gave it a 3.5. So maybe,
that was so annoying.
In the cinema, it might even go higher, because if you're watching this in the cinema, George, it's fucked. Like, it's really bad.
Will be.
Yeah.
Yo, Tyler.
Yo.
Are you going to see it?
Yeah, I don't know.
I will say it's not scary.
The trailer makes it look terrifying, like with capital Terry.
Like,
is this what would you say on a scale of 1 to 10 scary level?
I would say,
or compare it to another horror movie that you know I've seen.
I'll compare it to, like, I can't compare it to an Evil Dead because you haven't seen any. So I'll compare it to, like,
I'm making it to any of those either.
Evil Dead's comedy, man. Like,
I think I'll definitely get to the Evil Dead movies, but this one looked like a different breed.
No, it's so. Bear in mind, again, I watched it on a laptop, which does take you out of it a little bit. I would say there's a few moments which are creepy. Like, we've seen the scenes in the trailer when she's like, you know, she's looking through the peephole and stuff like that.
Yeah,
that's
like
creepy.
The bathtub and.
So the fucking TikTok ad that this movie has is just the mom like trying to get in the door or whatever, and the ad starts right when you open the app. So it just opens the app, and I'm like, whoa!
It's a jump scare right away.
It's not, honestly. I didn't think it was. I will, like, seriously, if I compare it to something like Hereditary or The Conjuring, it's nowhere near. It really. It's creepy at the start, and she is a bit weird, and it does take a bit to get used to. But by the last 40 minutes, it just becomes comedic how absurd it is to the point where you're past the point of scared. Is it gross? It's an Evil Dead film.
Yeah, I've never seen an Evil Dead film.
They're grotesque.
It's like,
I don't like that.
It's disgusting. It's one of the worst ones I've seen in the past few years.
I know in an ideal world the answer is yes, but would you say you have to see all the Evil Deads before watching this?
No, it's not related.
Okay.
I would because I think there's 5 films in the franchise. Every one is good, and the first 3 especially I think are really good. So I think I would recommend anyone to watch them, just so you're kind of used to the universe, because it is quite comedic and stupid and grotesque. But if you're saying do you need to, you definitely don't, because it's completely it's a reboot.
Lore. Like, you need to just understand the lore, but like, it's not like there's characters from the original trilogy that you're going to continue following.
If you really wanted to, you could just watch the 2013 reboot.
Yeah.
But I'd recommend, if you're going to watch one, I'd recommend watching the OG and then watching this one.
Is this your least favorite Evil Dead movie, even though you're generally positive on it, but does it fall on your... No. Oh, it doesn't? Okay.
So this one is a 3.5. The 2013 reboot's at a 3.
Really?
Army of Darkness is at a 4. Evil Dead 2 is at a 4. And Evil Dead 1 is at a 4.5. So they're all really high. But we'll move on.
I go Evil Dead 2 is my 4.5, and then Evil Dead and Army of Darkness are 4s.
The first two are really close. Evil Dead and Evil Dead.
They're very close.
Yeah, it depends what you like more, the horror or the comedy. Because in Evil Dead 2, it's very comedy specific, isn't it?
Yeah.
We'll move on to Mandalorian. George, Cam, did you watch it this week? Episode 5.
Damn, George is out.
I'm slacking. I'm like 3 episodes behind right now. I'm slacking big time.
This to me was the best episode of the season. I think most people agree with it. It's very action packed, so I mean that's pretty obvious that's what people are going to like. God. It's a good episode. I necessarily want to talk too in depth with it if no one else watched it. I don't think Tyler or Seth are ever going to watch it, so it's not like that.
Probably not.
I should say I forgot to mention last week. Shout out Ahmed Best. He got brought back last week's episode. Completely snubbed over him, so that's my bad. And
I figured you were just like saving that for like since George hadn't seen it yet.
No. It's all.
I was giving you the benefit of the doubt.
I just forgot and I felt bad. So shout out him. It's all over Twitter. I gotta assume George.
I got that spoiled like crazy immediately.
Yeah, I mean he's just good for him.
Yeah,
dude's got like brought to the brink of almost like taking his own life because he just got bullied out of the Star Wars universe. And then obviously,
how many people have got? Wait, who came back?
Ahmed Best. He plays Jar Jar Binks.
Oh,
in the prequels.
Wow.
But he's not Jar Jar Binks at all.
No, he's brought back as he's the Jedi that like saves Grogu during Order 66. So good for him. Yeah, gets brought back as a character people will probably like. Probably won't be in much more Star Wars, but I'm happy that he got some sort of closure last week. This week, like I said, good episode, lots of action. Just get to see the Mandalorians ball out. People are like upset that like Bo-Katan is getting a lot of screen time. Good, she's awesome, and Katie Sackhoff is awesome. And I don't know. I feel like 3 seasons in, the Mandalorian, you can explore other characters in this universe, and that's okay. This is where like the season also, Tyler, like I know Tyler's big anti like episode, maybe not anti, but not a fan of just like the one episode feel. This is where the season starts taking its turn to like the overarching story. I think there is a lot of stuff that has been building up, but it's a little bit more subtle and it's not always like right in your face. It's a good episode. Good. Yeah. I'm a big fan of the show, obviously. Don't have really a ton to say.
I have a question about Mandalorian. It's more of an observation, I guess, from what I've been seeing, because I follow a decent amount of people that are watching season 3. I also listen to a couple other podcasts that aren't like movie related, but just like tangentially, they also watch that show and talk about it. I've heard a lot of Star Wars fans say like all the stuff you've been saying, like some of the best Star Wars we've seen. A lot of pretty much all of them are unanimously saying that season 3 is great. I've been seeing pretty unanimously as well from people who aren't like huge Star Wars fans, but like were fans of the show. Aren't loving this season. So does that make sense to you that like for true fans like are loving it, but like more casual fans might be start where they fall off the series, not follow along as much?
I think most people are kind of on the like this is the worst of the 3 seasons. I think that I'll do a season ranking probably after like the whole season's out. Obviously we haven't gotten the whole thing. In my opinion, non like full on Star Wars fans just want lightsabers and just want Duel of Fates every episode. I personally like that this show doesn't have lightsabers. Obviously it did when it was doing Order 66, but it doesn't need lightsabers. The Mandalorian, like through the first 3 seasons, has some of the best dog fighting, like just star pilot fighting we've seen in Star Wars. And that's one of my favorite parts of it. And it doesn't need to call back to everything. I say it time and time again. The most annoying thing to me about Rogue One is when they're shipping off a bunch of the fighter jets and they pan over to R2-D2 and C-3PO because it's just like hey, look who it is. It's Star Wars, everyone. Here's Star Wars in case you didn't understand. This has a ton of callbacks and it gets into a lot of the Republic and stuff. But it doesn't have to do the, hey, look, we're in Star Wars, even though it kind of does, because it pulls back to Order 66, which is just like Dave Filoni's favorite fucking thing ever. He can't get enough of that. But my personal opinion is Star Wars fans like lightsabers, and that's what they like. I mean, I like that too, but I think there's a lot more lore than just lightsabers and stuff in this universe that's ever expanding. Just
That's exactly why Andor was so polarizing, because on one end you have like, I think me and you, who can respect the lack of lightsabers and the lack of like Star Wars callbacks and references and just enjoy this little story that they're bringing from the Star Wars universe. And then on the other hand, you have people who, again, just want Duel of the Fates and just want lightsabers. And they're like, well, why should we care about this little rogue revolutionary or something, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, and I agree with that. And I think like the Mandalorian has way more like Star Wars-iness to it than Andor did. And so I think it's almost like if you said, Revenge of the Sith is maximum Star Wars and Andor is minimum Star Wars, I think when you get into that like gray area of like kind of Star Wars, people get upset about it, because they're to the point where they're like kind of showing lightsabers. They'll show a little bit here and there, or they'll give you the dark saber, but they won't do it all the time. So I think that kind of pisses people off a little bit. And it's not like the fastest moving show, so I understand people aren't like huge fans of it, but I don't know. I think week in, week out, it delivers on its costume design, it delivers on its script, it delivers on its like character development, it delivers on its set pieces, just things like that. I think it delivers in all the places that Star Wars normally succeeds, and you're either going to like it or you're not going to, in my opinion.
Fair enough.
Yep.
Quick one before we go into trailers. If you are enjoying this episode so far, make sure you hit that like button on YouTube. If you're on Spotify, Apple, give us a rating. Like I said before, we're nearly on 1,000 on Spotify, and we want to get up there on Apple as well, because
Apple kind of.
How many do we have on?
I'm on Apple. It's like 93. Go to Apple, people. I'm on Apple. I rate it every time I can, but I'm pretty sure none of them count because I've rated it probably like
you've rated it already.
I've rated it like 100 times, and it's not.
Fair enough. But it really does help us out, and it obviously boosts us up, and we are, reaching to getting those ratings, especially on Spotify. But Cam, do you want to do your little theme tune?
Hey, it's trailer time.
Thank you very much. Biggest trailer we got this week was for Wes Anderson's Asteroid City. Now, George, opinions. What do you think?
This is the most Wes Anderson-y trailer I've ever seen in my entire life. I'm very excited. I know this is a hot take, but I think The French Dispatch is his best film, so I think he's coming off hot. And I'm really excited. He's obviously working with another stellar cast, a couple of newbies to his filmography, which I'm excited to see him work with. It looks like a very weird mix of comedy, of Wes Anderson comedy and Wes Anderson science fiction, which I'm curious to see how those two are going to mesh together, because like Wes Anderson's comedy is like, it's very unique. It can be dry at times. It may not get like the little, like a massive ha-ha out of you, but it'll get you to like do a little like a nose thing.
Yeah.
And then I don't know how Wes Anderson's science fiction is going to go. So I'm curious to see how those two are going to coexist together, but I'm very excited. Again, it just looks very Wes Anderson-y. You either like his filmography or you don't. When I posted my trailer reaction on TikTok, every other comment was, I just don't like Wes Anderson filmography. Every other comment was, I love Wes Anderson's style of filmography. So he's hit or miss for you. For me, it's a hit. I love what he does. I love The French Dispatch, Grand Budapest, Isle of Dogs, Fantastic Mr. Fox. So I'm excited. I'm very excited. It's one of my most anticipated movies of the year.
Yeah, I think it's if you love Wes Anderson's filmography, you'll probably end up loving this. If you don't like his style, you probably won't like this because it looks like that. Any more thoughts, Tyler? Cam?
Yeah, it's just like maximalist Wes Anderson at this point. The cast is pretty stellar. We didn't see a lot of them in the trailer. A lot of people are theorizing that they're going to be like the aliens that come to the town of Asteroid City, like Margot Robbie and the other people we haven't seen yet. Jeff Goldblum, all being aliens. But yeah, it looks like something I'm really going to like. I'm going to call it right now. I'm going to be surprised if I love it. Like if I drop a 4.5 or a 5 out of 5, I'll be pretty surprised. But I'm expecting it to be like very much like 3.5, 4 out of 5. It's again, like you're saying, it's if you don't like Wes Anderson, you're gonna hate this movie because this looks like the most like breaking the gauge, like off the chain Wes Anderson in terms of his style and how he goes about making a movie with his crazy ensemble cast and wacky ideas for a plot. But yeah, looks fun. We still don't know a ton about what it's about, which I enjoy. Like it was quite a long trailer. Like when I was watching, I was like, damn, there's still a lot more left of this. But still, I don't feel like it gave away much of what's going to be going down in this movie. So A+ trailer on that front to get you excited and show you what it's kind of a little bit about without spoiling too much. But yeah, I'm excited for it. I'd be surprised if I absolutely love it, but I think it'll be very good.
I don't know much about his budgets, and I think he does. Does he always have, like, considering the ensemble cast and the set design, his budget's always quite low? Because it did surprise me to hear that the budget for this film is like 20 million, I think, which for the cast is like, you've got some huge names in this cast. It did surprise me.
Yeah, I think people just always take pay cuts to work with him.
Yeah.
He gets the same people, doesn't he?
The budget for the French Dispatch was 25 million.
Interesting. Okay. It's clear that people just trust him, don't they, in the work, and just happy to work with him again. That's the thing, isn't it?
Yeah, 25 million for the Grand Budapest Hotel. Yeah, I feel like he's just at this point just one of those names that like people want to take on a Wes Anderson movie. It's unique, it's different, it's going to push like the way they act and how they change up their personas. So
he does a lot of model work too, which is
his model work
very cheap comparatively to obviously CGI or building an entire set. He's a big model work guy, so I think that's pretty easy for him. I do want to say I don't know what the fuck is going on in this trailer. This trailer basically tells you nothing.
That's a good thing. That's a good thing.
No, that's a very good thing. I don't know what the fuck's going on, and it looks like the entire thing was drawn with like a pastel marker. Or crayon or whatever.
Wes Anderson, baby.
That's Wes Anderson.
And it's fantastic. I'm really excited for it.
I got a question for you guys. Do you think there are filmmakers out there? And my answer is yes, because I'm going to say Christopher Nolan and I'm going to say Wes Anderson. Do you think there are filmmakers out there that could say, I have a movie dropping on this day, never release a poster, never release a trailer, and will still sell out theaters?
Yes.
Do you think any filmmaker working today has that like pull? Because I truly think if the Russo brothers just said Avengers Endgame 7/14/2019, it still would have become the highest grossing movie of all time.
Yeah, I don't know. Christopher Nolan's definitely one of them. Obviously, we've seen Steven Spielberg's not one of them because like the Fablemans didn't do great.
Yeah.
Is this? I'd say like
do you think Dune would have that? Dune 2. Do you think it would have that pull? Like if Denis didn't release a trailer or a poster, do you think it would have that pull?
Honestly, I'm not even trying to be like major film bro here, but for me personally, I think Christopher Nolan might be the only director who I can confidently say would sell out a theater.
I think Wes Anderson has a huge following.
By film fans though, but no casual person likes Wes Anderson.
Yeah.
I know loads of people like Wes Anderson.
Well, like I worked at maybe it's because like Grand Budapest Hotel more so put him on the map. But when I worked at a movie theater and that movie came out, that was crickets. No one was going to see that.
Really? Oh yeah. Okay.
But again, that's like
maybe
9 years ago at this point.
Because of Grand Budapest, because of like the films that have come out the last few years. Maybe it is film, but I just think Wes Anderson has this massive cult following that will just follow everything he does. Maybe it's a small percentage.
Like I don't even think Scorsese could do that today.
It depends on. Well, we'll get onto it because
we'll get.
It depends on the Scorsese film. I don't know, man. Like, I think it also, when you say that nothing is released, are the casts released as well? Because I think that makes a difference. You know what I mean?
No cast.
I don't know if any director does that.
I think Tarantino would. I think
Tarantino would.
Yeah, if he would now because it's his last film potentially. Do you know what I mean?
I truly think if Christopher Nolan just said, "Yo, I got a movie dropping on this day," didn't even give us a title, people would still be in the theater. Just for sheer anticipation on like what it would be.
Yeah,
maybe more so because of the fact that no one the fuck it is.
Right, and I wouldn't say like Martin Scorsese falls under that because I feel like his filmography's quite diverse, so you wouldn't really know what you're getting. Whereas Christopher Nolan, it's going to be crazy action set pieces, visual epic, something you need to see in theaters. So, but yeah, interesting question.
Fair enough. Next trailer we got was for a film. I'm not sure if you guys, any of you watched the trailer, but it's the Shooting Stars film. Did you watch the trailer at all, Tyler?
Yeah, it's like LeBron James. This dude like has so many movies and TV shows made about him at this point. Like it seems like basically he's like, because he was in a House Party this year. He was in obviously the new Space Jam the other year. I feel like he's made a couple of cameos in other movies before. And I don't know. It's like it's just this seemed like it's kind of more through his mouth, so it's kind of like him giving himself his own narrative. Seems like basically a documentary style ish of his come up from. Well, it's like reenacted with actors because like Caleb McLaughlin's in it, but
Yeah.
it seems like it's supposed to be more true life events as opposed to like House Party where it's like a comedy fiction and Space Jam. But yeah, it seems like it's about like his high school days and him coming up from being the most anticipated college or high school basketball athlete to now being arguably the greatest basketball player of all time. So I don't know. I'm not gonna watch it. Doesn't look at something like that'll interest me, but NBA fans I'm sure will enjoy if they are not LeBron haters.
Yeah, fair enough. George, do you watch it?
I did not know.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I'm hosting this episode. I didn't even. I don't know anything about it. We also got a trailer for. I don't know if you guys watched this, but the opening reviews haven't been that good. Master Gardener with Sigourney Weaver and Joel Edgerton.
Yeah.
This is obviously directed by Paul Schrader, who wrote Taxi Driver, who wrote Raging Bull, who directed First Reformed.
Mm-hmm.
This guy's a very reputable. Like he's written so many incredible screenplays. But the opening reviews, I think it premiered at a film festival maybe late last year, haven't been great, to be honest. I think it's sat like a 3 on Letterboxd, which early is not amazing considering it is this kind of thriller crime. Did you guys? Did either of you watch this at all? The trailer?
I checked it out. Yes.
What do you
can
think?
go ahead, George.
Well, I mean, first to touch on like your Paul Schrader, like I'm looking through his credits right now, and outside of everything you just named, I don't really know this dude's filmography. Like I knew he wrote Raging Bull and Taxi Driver. I knew he was a producer on them, and then obviously the
Last
First
Temptation of
Reformed,
Christ.
Last Temptation of Christ. But like everything else, like
Well,
this
he did.
man's filmography is lost on me. I really gotta.
Yeah, it's
get
same as
on
me.
this.
I was actually going to say this because he's done like a lot of films. He directed a lot of films so he did a film, George, you probably see it, Mishima, A Life in 4 Chapters. I have been recommended that. It's the 3rd one on his letterbox. It says directed on the 3rd one. Mishima, A Life in 4 Chapters. I have recommended that. It's got a 4.3 on Letterboxd. I've recommended that so apparently it's like a generation film, just incredible.
Yeah.
He also did one called Blue Collar as well, which meant really good. But I honestly, I haven't seen that much of his filmography. I've only seen
neither have I.
2 of his directed films, which is surprising, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like he clearly knows what he's doing in the industry anyway, so I maybe would expect a little bit more.
Yeah.
But saying that, I don't know.
Yeah, but I don't know. The trailer didn't blow me away. It kind of reminded me of what was that movie that Brendan Fraser was in, like that crime? No Sudden Move or No Sudden Something.
Oh, I know what you mean. Yeah, carry on. I'll get it.
Okay, but anyways, it kind of reminds me of that, where it's gonna be this slow burn crime thriller.
Move.
Yeah, No Sudden Move. It's gonna be the slow burn crime thriller. It's gonna either like it's this the screenplay is gonna be the most important thing here because the movie itself is gonna be boring as fuck. So it depends on how much the screenplay can lock me in, and I don't know. The trailer didn't really sell it to me. I don't typically love those types of movies, even though I did just love Blowout.
Oh yes.
Yeah, I don't know. I was not thoroughly intrigued by this.
Yeah, same.
I'm the opposite, I'm opposite of Master Gardener as George. Like this is the type of movie I love, like slow burn thrillers. And I actually was excited about this from the trailer, but after hearing the early reviews, doesn't sound like it's gonna be the greatest. I'll still watch it, but yeah, obviously Paul Schrader's proven before that he's worthy enough to get my attention and then some. So I'll watch it. I was excited by it, but oh well. I guess it's not.
Do you guys like Joel Edgerton as an actor? I think he's really good.
I do, yeah.
I really like him.
Yeah, I thought that's why I was excited for this. I thought like it looked like a role he could nail.
I think he's really good in The Gift, which I know not that many people like.
I really watched that like the other month. Very good.
No, The Gift is the movie that everyone. I think people overhype The Gift.
It's got like a 3.3 on Letterboxd.
Okay, I'm talking more like people, and I'm sure I've done this before. Underrated thrillers that you've never seen. The Gift. That's
really.
That's
I never
seen
seen
the movie.
It
Yeah, I think it is.
Okay, maybe film people then. I've got it at 4. It's got like a 3.3 on Letterboxd.
I think I have it at a 4 as well.
Yeah, I really like it.
Maybe
Cam has it at 4.5.
Yeah, maybe I'm overhyping it. I think it's a good movie. I think what do I have it at? Maybe I'm.
Speaking of, sorry to completely change the conversation, but I swear to God, we talked about the quote 86. From Game Night the other day, where Meth Damon is like,
The
I just can't be
Fritos.
profitable for Frito-Lays. I've seen that meme, that quote come up on Twitter
I
like
saw the
4
half hour.
times a day.
I saw that literally before.
That was a good. That was a good
It's
video.
because
for me.
I didn't know that he directed Dungeons and Dragons. I didn't know that. Same director as Game.
Oh, really?
Oh, I thought you meant.
Yeah, I thought you were talking
I
about
know
Jesse
you were talking
Clemens.
about,
Yeah.
Jesse
The
Plemons.
director.
I was like, what?
I'm assuming that's why it's coming up.
Why'd you
because
call
obviously he
him
directed-
Meth Damon? Is that like his?
That's a
nickname?
common nickname for him,
Yeah.
Really?
Because he
I
looks
don't
like a
know.
fat
Maybe I've
version of
heard
Matt
that and
Damon.
just not
He looks like.
Yeah.
Well, have you seen the Black
Wait,
Mirror episode?
Who are you
with
calling Meth
Alistair?
Damon?
Jesse
Jesse
Plemons.
Jesse Plemons.
Meth Damon.
Because he looks like Matt Damon on
I
Meth.
kind of get it, to be fair.
I don't know if that's true.
Well,
He
it,
does,
it
maybe.
started from Black Mirror's episode
Okay.
USS Callister because he does look like a disheveled piece of shit in that movie, in that
Okay.
episode.
Yeah.
I need to
but-
watch that. Let's watch that.
Yeah.
I overhyped the gift. All right, never mind. I take it back. I love that movie. It's
How dare
great.
you, bro?
I love
How
it
dare
too.
you.
Don't
Yeah,
worry.
you-
Oh, God.
Fair enough.
It's a nice B movie.
We got a final season trailer for Barry. I haven't seen it. George, I think you really like it. Do you like it?
I don't watch it.
I'm thinking of the bear, aren't
I watched the first season of Barry, but Cam, have you seen any Barry?
No, I think
I
people
re-
like it though.
I? People
Yeah.
It's like
love.
something I'd
Apparently,
like.
Bill Hader's just amazing there. I kind of wanted to watch. People love that shit. I don't know.
I feel like it's similar to like a Better Call Saul in terms of its trajectory, where it started off and people were like, "This is
Yeah,
very
maybe.
good," and then each season that's come out, they're like, "This is great. This is amazing. This is like one of the greatest complete shows."
think
But yeah,
people-
I really enjoyed it. I just didn't stick with it.
What season just is coming out?
The final one, which
Four?
is 4, I believe.
4, yes, the final
Four,
season
okay.
4, yeah.
Uh, Maybe I'll watch it. I actually
I
have
kind of watched it.
interested by it, but
Yeah. We got a trailer for Elemental. Don't
no.
Yeah, no, don't do that.
No,
don't do
don't
that.
do like that.
What?
What's your
skipped over
rundown?
one.
Yeah, what's your rundown say next?
Do we really want to speak about trolls band
Yeah.
together ever?
Well, now we do.
Okay, so that wasn't a typo. It's together, Ether.
It's
Trolls-
just together.
Okay,
right?
never mind.
Yeah,
Why does it
yeah,
say-
it's just together. It's not together. My niece loves the Trolls movie. She can't get enough Trolls, man. And
Are you gonna go and watch it?
I hate them. I'm not a Trolls guy. I don't actually know if I've ever logged them because I don't think I've ever sat down and watched the Trolls movies, but I've seen I've seen them 100 times, but it's just watching them with my niece or like walking in while she's watching them. Can't stand them.
I don't know what they are.
Not a Trolls guy.
They're trolls, bro.
They're just
Oh.
trolls. They're just trolls being
They're just
trolls.
fucking trolls.
They're the Anna Kendrick plays like the main troll, and my niece loves
Justin Timberlake.
what song is it? It's not gonna. It's fuck. There's an Anna Kendrick song that's like, "Hey, I'm not giving up today," and my niece. That's like my favorite, or my niece's
not watching
favorite
that.
song. Yeah.
Brilliant. Fair enough.
It's
Oh,
it's
so
a,
we
it's a
did-
movie. It's a movie for a 6-year-old.
We did get a trailer for Elemental. Then you guys watch this.
Yes.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts? Cam, I'll go to you first. You're our resident animation
Animated
guy.
guy.
Yeah,
Sure. Yeah. I mean, it looks like a Pixar movie. Will probably make me cry. Probably gonna be good. I'm gonna take a shot in the dark and say that.
When I first saw it, I thought it was like a follow-up to Inside Out. I don't know why it gives me that kind of vibe.
I mean, it's from the same studio, so it's got relatively similar animation. I would agree with that.
This is why people listen to Real Talk for these in-depth analysis.
I mean, what do you want me to say? You want me to get into the lore?
Oh,
of
that's exactly
water?
what I would have said.
Like,
It does look good.
The water stems from hydrogen twice and oxygen once, and the fire stems from carbon or something. I don't know. Whatever.
What
They're
an
elements,
intelligent
man.
conversation.
I'm just saying, this shit's not realistic. Water and fire would never get along.
That's the point.
Yeah, that's
Hey, George, you just explained the movie.
You're
You just
so
cracked
right.
the code.
You're so
Yeah.
5 out of 5. Easy 5 out of 5 right there.
Elements don't mix. They're gonna come together and make like steam or something. That's
Stop.
definitely. Is that a joke in the show? I feel like I didn't just make that up.
I'm
That's
sure
gotta
it
be a
is,
joke in
but-
the trailer.
Sounds like a
I
sexual.
don't know.
There-
I didn't.
Well, that's what I'm saying. They're gonna like be steamy together, and that's their love.
I didn't think the trailer looked that great to me. I think it looks pretty generic. The dialogue looked pretty rough. Disney's on a losing streak right now. Pixar's Lightyear from last year was average at best. Disney animated with Strange World, big flop. Marvel and Star
Strange World
Wars.
kinda stinks.
Star Wars like is kind of a mess with like their whole management.
Whoa! Don't be down in Star Wars. They're doing well right now.
Let's just dog the MCU while we're at it. Fuck Quantum.
Andor and they're 2 for 2 of their last 2, man.
Disney just rough right now. They're laying off like tens of thousands of people.
Yeah.
That happened to every big company, though. That's not just Disney.
Yeah, but I don't know. Their projects are missing more than they're hitting
Disney.
lately, and that's not a hot take. So we'll see how this goes. It doesn't look like it's gonna be great. When's the last time Pixar's had a great movie? Inside Out.
2020.
That was
Soul.
like a decent film. Let's not come on.
Soul is perfect.
Inside
When
Out
did
is
Soul
top
come out?
5 animated
2020.
of all time.
Soul was good. I like
So
Soul.
let's run through their last. So also, Turning Red was really good.
It was
I didn't
okay.
see it.
Turning Red was average.
It was
No,
average.
Turning Red was.
It was like
very
a
good.
4.5 out of 10.
Lightyear, I'm not going to defend.
I didn't watch
Luca,
that.
I'm gonna defend Lightyear.
Well, I'm going to defend that it's better than average. Luca was okay. I think
Luca,
Luca was
thumbs
better than Lightyear. Luca was better than Lightyear. Soul was great.
Soul was good.
Onward was okay.
I haven't seen it.
Toy Story 4 was very good. Incredibles 2 was very, very good. I like.
Was it? I didn't watch it. Was that?
Yeah, Incredibles 2 was actually a very
score
big
isn't that
surprise,
high.
I would say.
I like Incredibles too.
Okay,
Coco
I'll say
was
they haven't
good.
had a
Pixar
hit since
doesn't miss.
Luca.
They'll be yapping about Pixar like that.
Pixar absolutely misses.
No.
Cars.
They brought Cars. Cars 1,
Cars
2,
misses.
Cars
Cars
3.
misses.
There we go.
You know who doesn't miss?
The Good Dinosaur misses.
Studio Ghibli.
Well, yeah. I don't think anyone's arguing that.
Nah, there isn't. Is there not a missing Ghibli? I don't know.
Not one.
Really?
At least not that I've seen.
I'm sure there's a miss, but
There's
I've never
probably a
watched them.
miss.
There's no way. No shot.
I don't know if
So,
Miyazaki's
is it
missed,
not
George.
Ghibli?
Miyazaki has never missed.
No, you can say. Apparently, you can say Ghibli or Ghibli. I say Ghibli, but apparently
I say
it's
Ghibli.
No, I've always thought it was Ghibli.
I
haven't
think you
even-
can say both.
Let's see. Let's see.
I don't care.
Their
Like,
lowest rated. This is according to. Oh, this is not a Studio Ghibli movie. Have Earwig and the Witch? Is that Studio Ghibli?
I've never heard of that in my life.
I've never
Well,
heard
it's
of
got
it.
a 29% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yes,
but
yeah, it is. Wait, what the
Yeah,
hell
so
is that? Ugh.
I've never heard of this movie from
It's got a
2020.
2.
but-
It's got a 2 on Letterboxd.
Yeah, well,
So brutal.
George, just look at that.
so they've
I mean, that looks elite.
That's a
It
5
looks
out of 5.
terrifying.
No
it looks
doubt.
like.
so they've missed once or twice,
Okay.
maybe. Tales from Earthsea.
You're not
apparently.
using Rotten Tomatoes as your.
I
That's
just
fine,
used
right.
it as a fuck. I just
Dude.
Googled Studio Ghibli movies, so shut up.
Don't use
No.
Rotten Tomatoes.
That was quite good.
That's
That's
literally
good.
Seth.
You know, that was like how every American thinks we sound. I think more than anything.
That was literally.
I always wonder that. Like,
What do we sound to you guys?
Idiots. We'll move on.
Elemental looks good.
respectable.
Seth did a really good American
I
accent
did.
when he sent me that video. It was
I
actually
was quite
like,
impressed with that.
it-
That was
it was
first to
very
go as well.
impressive.
You can send that in the chat. I was quite impressed with that.
it was very impressive.
We'll move on to some news. Obviously, we've got quite a bit of movie and TV news. We haven't got as much nerd news this week. First thing, Killers of the Flower Moon. Yesterday, I believe, was confirmed that it's going to be around 4 hours long.
What the fuck,
It's a
man?
fat W. That's a fat W. I don't care what anyone
W.
says.
Sitting in the theater for that long, ain't it, Chief?
You know
That's-
how many?
that's
I
a
mean,
fat
I
W.
done been saying we're getting too many of these films. However, I actually
4
really like
hours.
the
I can
really
do
liked-
3. I
No,
could
but-
do 3.
Did you like The Irishman, Cam?
Yeah, I liked it.
That was
I-
like 3.5.
I liked
Was
it a
like
good.
3.5.
I have it at like 4.5. I think I liked it a good
No,
amount.
I mean that was 3.5 hours long.
Yeah, no, okay. So here's my thing. It's Netflix, Zack Snyder's Justice League, HBO Max. The only other 4-hour movie I've ever seen, Seven Samurai, HBO Max.
Oh, did you not watch Irishman in cinema? Did you watch it on Netflix?
No, I watched it on Netflix. Did
I
people
watched
see
it
it
in
in
cinema.
cinema?
No, I saw it on Netflix.
I watched it in
Yeah.
cinema.
Yeah, no
I was
It's a
shit.
bro,
Netflix
It's
release. I am
Scorsese.
not
I was
going
there.
to
I was
the
there
cinema.
opening day.
The only movie that
Um,
I've watched, actually, I watched Dune and Godzilla vs Kong in theaters.
Isn't
That's
Dune?
Kong is long.
Wait, Dune. Why? What's?
Well, both of those released with HBO Max here. So that was
Oh,
during like,
really? Dune.
yeah, that was during
didn't know
so like
that.
all of the 2020 and 2021 releases released on HBO Max simultaneously, like all the Warner Bros. Release, I believe,
Oh,
for the most part.
I'll,
And most,
I'll be watching it, but I think 4 hours is like it's getting to the point. where it's
I
like,
mean, I'll be watching it. That's long, man.
that's really long. Sitting
That's
in the cinema
fine.
as well.
Give me an
Well,
intermission. Give me an intermission.
the Old films.
I
used to
do
have
agree on
intermissions.
that.
I know.
I do agree on
I
that.
know.
Intermission
Yeah,
would be
like-
nice.
Seven
Well-
Samurai has an intermission, and I like it because
I
then
think,
that's when I pick pick my ass up.
A lot
and
of
go,
films from about that time have intermission. I bring them back when they're like 4 hours plus. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
I think Sydney went to the re-release of RRR in theaters, and she said there was an intermission.
Oh, how long's RRR?
3 hours. I don't think
Netflix,
RRR needs one, to
Netflix,
be
but
fair.
3 hours I
That
can
was-
do.
'Cause
4 hours.
The thing is, the difference with like RRR and like Killers of the Flower Moon, you know that Killer of the Flower Moon is going to be very heavily dialogue based. RRR is just it's a crazy blockbuster. Like the RRR does not feel like over 3 hours long. It might for me anyway.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you need one with that, but it'll be interesting to see how it is anyway. That's a big 4 hours is a
And also this is where people are like, this is the worst argument ever if people will sit on their ass and watch an entire show all day and binge an entire show.
Yeah,
My opinion
I
on that,
agree.
again, Netflix, I can get up and go make myself dinner, or
You can
get up
pause it,
and go
yeah.
take a shit. I can,
There's no
I can,
way I can hold my piss that long.
exactly.
no way.
Exactly.
There's
Yeah,
no
like
way.
3
is
hours,
crazy.
like 3.5 hour movies, probably the limit of what I can hold my piss. But the problem with that is like you need prep time for that, which like I
Big
don't always
time.
want to just like revolve my whole day of intaking.
I like
fluids
to
around
get
a movie.
an ice drink and not have to worry about
Right,
pissing my
exactly.
pants.
I don't get a drink in the cinema. That's
Yeah,
risky
that's
business.
silly.
That's psychotic.
That's silly. I'm a big Arnold
For like
Palmer at
John
the
Wick,
movies guy
John
now.
Wick, like for example, it's 3 hours long. I don't want to miss it, so I don't want to go for a piss in the middle of it.
You
know
guys
what I mean?
got weak bladders. God damn.
I do.
I mean, like
no,
I can
do.
make
I
it.
can make
just,
it, but it hurts.
I would prefer.
That's
I
the
would
issue.
prefer to not have to like
Right.
even cut it close.
Be in pain mid film. It's not nice.
Not in pain.
No,
At
it
that
doesn't
point, go
be.
pee, man.
No.
You won't miss the 2 minutes.
No. Speaking of John Wick spin-off Ballerinas release in spring, summer 2024. And also they've confirmed that a spin-off to John Wick, I don't know what it will be yet, will be announced in the next, I think, 3 weeks or so. Any ideas of what that could be in your eyes?
It's got to be Kane,
I was
that
thinking the
Donnie
the guy's
Yen.
daughter.
I think it would be the guy's daughter.
From
Yeah,
the
it's gotta
post-credit
be-
scene.
What was her name? Akira.
Akira.
Yeah,
Was it?
it'll definitely be something on her, won't it?
Gotta be.
I think it'd be both of them.
I'd like something on her, to be fair. I
It's
think
the
I
post-credit
wish
scene. I'm sure it's both of them.
I mean, I'm up for that. I really like both of the characters. Fine with me.
Yeah.
Live action remake of the Aristocats in the works. Why?
This is I fully understand maybe like a Cinderella or a Little Mermaid or a Lilo and Stitch. Who's at and again, my niece loves the Aristocats. Who else is asking for this, man? Like
Yeah,
Did
Is
they
it
not
weird
learn
at
anything
all?
from Cats from like 2019 that this
Yeah.
just won't
God.
translate well?
did you guys watch Cats or no?
No, I've seen clips and it scared me.
Release the butthole cut.
Jesus.
What?
There's I don't think it's true, but I thought like I forget exactly how it started, but I think it was Jason Derulo said like they had like their original cut had all the cats have buttholes, like, and then they like yeah, Google it. I'll Google it.
I'm not
Well,
Googling cat butthole.
Yeah, but-
Release the
carry
butt. As I got to BU, it gave it out for. Oh wait, no, this is the wrong thing. Butthole cut.
the wrong
Cats.
type of butthole cut. He was
Yeah.
looking for.
Cat's VFX editor confirms the butthole cut was very, very, very real, very terrible.
Why have I never heard about anything like this?
I wish
Uh, These are the real hard-hitting movie things you guys need to know.
I'm upset.
that they
you
had
told me
a
I'm
that
sad.
they had a butthole cut. Sorry.
Next bit of news: Pixar's Up short film will actually play in select theaters before showing developmental. That's a nice touch. I like that. I
Yeah,
don't wanna
very,
be-
very like dumb thing for so many people to get like mad about. There's so many people like mad, like, oh, leave the story of Up alone, leave the
There are
leave
very
the
funny
Up verse
tweets about it.
alone. Like whatever, just let
The
Carl go on
Up-verse.
Tinder or whatever.
There are very funny tweets about this that I forget.
Why?
now,
Why are
but
people upset about this? That's weird. Man. It's, how long is it meant to be?
Uh,
Like 10 minutes.
The old couple in Up stink.
Yeah, like it can't be any worse than the one that was before Incredibles 2 with like the bow buns where there's,
No,
like,
that
the
was
mom-
great.
Oh,
Shut
whoa,
up. That was
yeah,
great.
that was
No.
good.
Shut up.
No,
That
I
was
didn't
so
watch
That was nominated for an Oscar.
Yeah, you shut your damn mouth.
Not
keep
good.
keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth. That was great, man.
No.
Don't be doing that to Bow.
Was that a film spin-off or was it just a?
No.
No, I
Just
think
like
it
a
was just
short
a
film.
short film.
Oh, interesting.
So you guys have like vivid memories, and this is like a core memory of mine watching the old guy play chess in the park before A Bug's Life. You don't remember that short film? It was like the old man playing chess in the park. If there's anyone
Wait,
listening to this
short film
podcast,
before Bug's Life.
yeah, it was before Bug's Life. It's a core memory of mine, man. Like
No, I
it's
don't know
it's
about
got
that.
Tina Fey in my fucking head and Amy Poehler just willowing around with that core memory.
I do love Bug's Life.
Yeah.
Ari Aster's next film will likely be a Western with Joaquin Phoenix the star. I'm in. I'm assuming you're all in as well.
Yeah.
Why would you not
and
be?
you guys see that
Ari Aster
Beau's
in
Afraid
Western.
got the early screenings yesterday by
Well,
the
it was-
surprise Alamo
Yeah,
Draft
it was
House.
the Midsummer Director's Cut that people went to see, and it was like the April Fools. They showed Beau's Afraid. The initial reactions have been really positive. Did you not see it, Cam?
Really
Did you not-
positive
didn't-
reviews.
I only know
Yeah.
about Butler Cut.
It's
in the news.
it's really positive. The initial reviews to Beau's
Dude,
Afraid.
my friend. So I have a friend who's a big horror guy, but he only likes he doesn't like most movies. He's not a movie guy. He just likes like 8 horror movies, and he thinks those are like the greatest movies of all time because they're actually scary. And he's texting me like once a week, like, when do tickets come out for this? Like, this is his Avengers Endgame, because he thinks like Hereditary and Midsummer are like some of the most fucked up, incredible movies ever.
I've heard it's very fucked up. For one
Yeah,
thing.
it's
Like
so
I've heard
great.
it's his most audacious, weird film yet, which
There-
is saying a lot. if
Did you
look
see
at
there
this.
was like a tweet that was like it's crazy to learn that like the poster of that kid, someone tweeted and was like, it's
Oh my
crazy
God,
that this
the
is a real
video.
actor, and then A24 replies with that video. That shit
A24
looked like it was
definitely paid.
AI generated.
They definitely paid the tweet because it was just really good marketing. They paid.
Yeah,
the-
I think so.
That was so weird. The AI thing.
Yeah,
That
that
was
had to
really
be
weird.
AI edited, man. That was whack.
That was so weird. We'll move on. Stop me if you wanted to talk about anything in particular. Ryan Coogler is developing a new X-Files series. I've never watched the X-Files. I know absolutely nothing about it. Cam, you'll probably watch it because it was one of your favorite directors.
I do love Ryan Coogler. I've never seen the X-Files. I have no clue what they even are. So
I want
same.
more original
know the
works
music.
from Ryan Coogler. Because I love Fruitvale Station, but then since then he's always been in franchises: Creed, Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, now
X-Files a
X-Files.
franchise though, like it's
Yeah,
just more.
absolutely.
Of course, it's a franchise. What do you mean?
He's not going to get to do anything original here. It's going to be an existing
damn, this
rule
thing-
set.
This show ran from 1993
Bro,
to
X-Files is-
2018.
It's one of the longest running and most beloved shows of all time. So yeah,
It's
it's
got
nothing
such a
original
following.
for Ryan Coogler.
The music is great.
Yeah,
The
but is it a
music's really good.
franchise or is it just a remake? It's just like a show. I
Yeah, but
don't
that's
know.
in a
Well, yeah,
franchise.
same thing. Like he's gonna have to.
It's
He's,
a
he's
franchise.
adapting stuff here. He's not
Okay,
doing
that's
it
fine.
original.
He won't get he won't get all the say. He'll be
That's fair.
I'd like to see Ryan Coogler do. Well, actually, I haven't seen Fruitvale Station. So.
I gotta assume though he may direct like one episode and then is executive producing. When it says he's developing a new X series show or X Files series, I gotta assume he's
Unless
gonna,
he's
like,
writing as well,
Right.
Maybe.
maybe, but I gotta assume he's executive producing and just maybe gonna direct like one episode.
Yeah, because he has quite a bit of producing credits, including the acclaimed Space Jam remake. So he's a
I
big
remember that.
unoriginal IP guy.
I
He loves just,
got,
like,
I got that
remaking.
comment saying he was one of my favorite directors. I got that comment that like that's his worst thing, and I'm like, he didn't direct it. I don't blame him.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Can't blame him.
Matt Damon says Ben Affleck was originally pitched a Good Will Hunting sequel. They weren't pursuing it. Good. Weird. Who knows? Who cares? Tarantino confirms that his next potential final film is titled The Movie Critic, but he adds the film is not about Pauline Kael, who obviously everyone's going on Twitter when I tweeted about Olivia Colman and Jesse Buckley. That's just out the window now, but excited for it anyway. This was interesting. The original cast of Scott Pilgrim vs. the World are reprising their roles for the new anime adaptation on Netflix. Interesting. I'm in. I really
Are you guys
like
big
it.
Scott Pilgrim guys? Because I know it's like a
Yeah.
cult following movie.
I don't know if I'm cult following.
I have it
but
like a
do
4 out
like
of 5. I really like it.
it.
It's really
I have it at like a 90. I think it's one of the better like
coming of age.
comic book
Yeah.
movies.
It's one of the best cast comic book movies.
Dude,
ever.
that thing
It is a
incredible.
very good cast.
It is.
It's
so
one of those
good.
where like Chris Evans is like a small minor role, and you're like, holy shit, because
Yeah.
obviously he wasn't that big at the time, but you just
When was
kinda-
2010, 2011? I can't remember when it came out. Now, to be fair.
Somewhere
I
around
forget.
there.
So he was already Captain America, but they also have like Brie Larson.
He wasn't
and,
Captain America then, was he? 2010, 2011?
When was the first Captain America?
2011.
2012.
No,
Oh,
no, 2011. Okay, maybe I don't know the timeline, man, but it's just it's a weird cast because now they're all coming back to voice, and you're like, holy shit, this cast is nuts. But
Yeah, I
at
know
the
what you mean.
time,
It is
they
real
probably
cool.
weren't, you know, as
Yeah.
like Michael
Yeah.
Cera was the biggest one in that fucking movie.
He was great in it, to be fair.
He's
I really
great,
liked
yeah.
him in that. He was great.
He is really great.
I'll move on. Clint Eastwood preparing to write and direct his final film. Interesting. I'll watch that. Before the next news, obviously, I think it's kind of important to say, obviously, the Safdie brothers with the allegations they've had. Important to get them out in the water before we say some positive things about the.
Sorry. Did we want to mention that like last week's episode? We got a lot of DMs on Twitter about if we're going to touch on the Jonathan Majors thing. Last
we
week's
spoke
episode,
about it in the.
Well, we spoke about it in the review.
And
Did
then
we
last
speak
night
about it in
then-
the actual episode?
I don't think we really need.
I think
to
we
touch
should
on it
just
at all.
mention last week. We don't get as many views at all, like on the weekly review. So I just feel like we should mention last week we recorded on Saturday. News came out Saturday night. Sounds like he's a scumbag, but I feel like we should just touch on that. Just
It's
to
got
say,
worse.
like,
It's got worse for him as well. It's got a lot worse for him.
exactly. I'm just. I don't want to like make it seem like we're brushing over it. I don't know.
Yeah, we recorded it
feel like
before the news came out, and then when we knew the news came out, we spoke about it in the last Platinum Mine.
We got a lot of DMs about it because obviously our episode drops Monday and we don't touch on it at all because the news hadn't came out yet. So I just feel like we should say like that was the weird timeline that happened. But
Yeah, fair enough. But yeah, Safdie brothers, same thing. Allegations. Obviously, we don't condone anything, but we will be talking about casting. Megan Thee Stallion and Ben Affleck in talks to star alongside Adam Sandler in their next film for Netflix, which will be a crime film. Ben Affleck's a huge casting for this. I think he'll work really, really well. I'm definitely excited for the film. What do you guys think? Same?
I want to be pumped for this thing, but the news kind of is like that sucks.
It's weird how they're releasing this on the same day as the allegations. It's a bit unusual timing because it's like
that is true. Yeah.
Yeah, it's all kind of. But yeah, I mean, the casting itself is exciting. Francis Ford Coppola's Megalopolis has wrapped filming, so definitely excited to see how that comes out. And Taron Egerton says him and Matthew Vaughn have every intention to make one last Kingsman film together.
I hope they do this right.
Love that.
I hope it's good.
What did you guys think of the second one?
I really enjoyed it. I know most people didn't though, but I did not care for the Kingsman. I did not care when Taron Egerton wasn't in it. I didn't care for it.
I think both the Kingsman and Kingsman: The Secrets or the Golden Circle are middle of the road movies. Like they're both around a 50 or something for me. I think they're overhated in the sense that like some people talk about them like they're the worst thing ever, and I don't think they're that.
Yeah, Kingsman is definitely hated from what I know.
But I think the first one is so good they just have that expectation of it at that point.
Potentially, but it'd be interesting to see what they could do with another one, especially if it's Taron Egerton, not a Kingsman, which is completely different. In terms of the nerd news, Guardians of the Galaxy 3 confirmed to be around 2 hours 30. It's weird. I've never been excited for a Marvel film, and I was watching the trailer again yesterday. I'm actually like genuinely looking forward to it. I don't know, man. Like the Guardians of the Galaxy is just a different feel. And Tyler, I would say this to you: a lot of people commented on my review of Dungeons and Dragons that it's the same kind of feel as Guardians of the Galaxy. Do you get that?
I could definitely see where that comparison comes from. I feel like it's very similar in terms of it's like a ragtag group of people that normally probably wouldn't be best friends in everyday life, and they go out and accomplish missions together. So I can totally see that. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, fair enough. But yeah, I'm excited for this. Obviously, I think we all are. Liv Tyler is returning as Betty Ross in Captain America: New World Order. Any thoughts on this?
People, and Cam, you tell me. No, I'm just saying, when this news released that Liv Tyler was going to return as Betty Ross, I feel like people are just overreacting to everything nowadays. Like, this is not news that people should have given a fuck about.
People are. I liked her character, and
like, who cares? I kept seeing people like all caps. She's coming back. I'm like,
yeah, it's one of those things where.
Who cares?
What was she in?
She's in the Incredible Hulk.
The Incredible Hulk.
Oh, the OG. Okay,
her second MCU movie, I guess. She's good. I liked her. I feel like, you're right. It's people need clicks. People are itching for those clicks. As am I.
Literally, I'm scrolling through Twitter one day. I'm like, since when do we care this much about?
It was all over.
Like no one said a word about this character since 2009.
I do think it's funny that they're like bringing her back and bringing like Tim Roth back, because it's like I thought they were just gonna try to like retcon.
Wait, are they bringing Tim Roth back?
Yeah, as abominable or whatever.
The abominable snowman. Abomination.
Abomination. But so yeah, like it's just funny. Like I thought they were just trying to retcon that Incredible Hulk and make like erase it for everyone's memory. So it's kind of funny that I think they're bringing it back. Like again, nothing to be outraged about, but it's just funny. Like I feel like they were trying to just let that die, that whole like movie die.
I don't think they're bringing Tim. I think you're talking Tim Blake Nelson.
You're talking Tim Blake Nelson, I think.
Tim Blake Nelson's the leader. Which you're correct in the sense that they're all from the Incredible Hulk movie.
Wait, is Tim Blake Nelson the one who got cast in Dune 2? Is that the same guy?
Oh yeah, he did.
Yeah,
Tim Roth came back in She-Hulk as Abomination. So they're bringing back Hulk people all the time from Incredible Hulk.
Yeah, that's fine. I thought you were talking
so many Tims.
No, I just mean it's weird that they keep bringing back people from that movie that I thought they were trying to erase from the universe.
They're very much like it's very much like a sequel to that they're putting in a Captain America movie, which is just weird. I don't know. I think they'll find the right story, and whether it's good or not, I'm not sure, but I don't think it'll be bad because it's a Hulk movie and a Captain America movie. It could be bad for many other reasons. I don't think that's the reason it'll be bad.
Isn't Thunderbolt Ross in this movie going to be the president of the United States?
Yeah. That's comic accurate. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. And it's also Harrison Ford, who is probably just gonna walk on set. He's gonna walk on set, have a bunch of dots on his face to make him the red Hulk, and he's gonna be like, I don't give a fuck.
Did you guys see the tweets about the mustache? Like, there's one defining feature about that character.
And he doesn't have it.
He just doesn't care.
I saw a lot of people saying on Twitter too, also because like the set photos released of them like at a funeral. Yeah. So everyone's like, "Oh, Harrison Ford probably only agreed to be in this because he's dying immediately, and it's just his
probably, man. He's probably like, "Are you gonna kill me? How much you paying me?" Yeah, okay.
Moving from news we don't particularly care about too. What I care about, I think George does as well.
I definitely care about.
I'm gonna start.
Clayface, a confirmed villain in the Batman 2. This is exciting. I think if they get this right. And George, I think you said this as well. Like, I don't know if you tweeted this. People are concerned about it. The Batman being drowned in realism and it's Clayface, but it's the Batman. Like, come on.
I get what people are saying because obviously the Batman was a very grounded movie. Like,
it's still
he's just fighting a serial killer. He's not fighting like an otherworldly being. But I also want to say this: if you truly believe that a version of Clayface in Matt Reeves' universe is going to be this gigantic monster, completely made out of clay,
like a Scooby-Doo Monsters Unleashed.
Like, you're an idiot. Like, they're gonna make this as grounded as possible. Like,
what is it? There's the original Clayface was just like a guy with a mask.
Exactly,
like Leatherface or something.
Yeah, there's two ways they can go with Clayface, so it really depends which one it is. I like that this is continuing the psychological thriller aspect of Matt Reeves' Batman universe. Because Clayface is a very torn character that provides a lot of mental toughness for Bruce Wayne, the same way the Riddler did. So I think this is awesome. Like I said, I would love the Joker. I would love to see Bane, but like,
I think we'll still get the Joker.
Yeah, I don't think Clayface is going to be the only villain in this movie.
I would kind of like, and they've kind of done it. The Joker's been done a million times, but it's because it always hits. Other than Jared Leto, I would like if they like made him not a Thanos type villain, but like he's in the works of every Batman movie, and I think Matt Reeves is doing a good job with that so far. Obviously, just teasing him a little bit, and like the post-credit scene in the Batman Begins was the Joker card, and they were going to use him in the Dark Knight Rises. Obviously, unfortunately, rest in peace, Heath Ledger, but I like the idea that like he's an overarching, he's always there fucking
like
up
all the other antagonists like secondary, and he's like
he's the guy.
I prefer that, but
also
Clayface, definitely.
You know the memes that are like Batman, all of Batman's villains are just like mentally ill people that Batman just beats the shit out of. I would love if they just make Clayface just like a distorted person who has a lot of like problems physically, but it's just Batman still like beating the shit out of him, just like that's all of Batman's villains are just people with problems, and he's
people with issues.
Yeah, fuck it, I'm just gonna kill him or not kill him. Sorry.
Mike Flanagan actually pitched a Clayface film, a solo film to DC as well.
Yeah, I guess this isn't true. That's my bad, y'all. Well, that's
Is it not
bad.
true?
No, he replied to a tweet that was like, it's probably true, but he replied to a tweet that's like, he replied to, I think, the discussing film tweet and said like, hey, this isn't true. I'll let you guys know as soon as something like this happens. But yeah. Someone replied to my tweet on the ReelTok account of this with his tweet, and I was like, yeah, I'm still gonna keep it up. So
maybe it's true. Maybe he's trying to save face.
Maybe he's trying to keep it quiet, but I think he'd do a good job at it because he's
definitely
that'd be that dog.
He's got that dog. Yes, I agree. Last few bits here. Lee Sung Jun will write the script for Thunderbolts. He obviously is writing the script for wrote and directed Beef.
Beef.
Yeah, and he's like sound designer. He did sound design for Burning, for example, which is really cool. Yeah. Amelia Clark will start in Secret Invasion. I don't know if we already knew that. And finally, Josh Friedman is set to write the script for Fantastic Four. Obviously, he wrote the script for Avatar: The Way of Water. How are we feeling about that?
He also, it's good. It's better than getting probably a
random.
It's better than getting the Rick and Morty writer.
A guy
wrote never written a big budget movie. But I also wouldn't say like the best part of Avatar 2, The Way of Water, was the script. But allegedly, he wrote Avatar 4, and that's like the best script ever, according to James Cameron. So who the hell knows? I'm excited. I think it's a good thing.
He also wrote War of the Worlds, which was fine. And
Tom Cruise one. I like that movie.
Yeah, it was good. I just quite like it. I didn't love it. And he also wrote. He's writing the Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, the new Planet of the Apes.
Oh, really?
Well. So he's clearly I
think it's good that he has written big budget movies, so he knows how to make epic. a 2.5 hour
War of the Worlds, Avatar, big epic movies. That's what they
exactly.
Are. So,
yeah.
Got to be one of the most credible writers they've hired recently.
Yeah,
probably.
Probably, yeah. We'll get on some what we've been watching this week. George, what have you been watching this week? Any good stuff?
Boy. Yeah, March was a big month for me. I took advantage of the couple of weeks I had off, so I watched 40 movies throughout March. It's the most I've completed in a month ever, probably. But over the last week, rewatched La La Land. I watched Air, Suzume. Caught up on a couple of DC animated movies. I really enjoyed Gods and Monsters. I watched Pacific Rim with Victoria, and
I haven't seen that. She didn't like it.
No, she didn't like it.
No, didn't she give it a 1 star?
Give it a 1 star, yeah. So we're no longer together. I watched Wavelength, which absolutely sucked.
Yeah, you love that. It was your
that
favorite.
Movie is so I don't know what level of like film student you have to be to like enjoy that movie, but it's so bad.
How did you watch it?
It's on YouTube.
Oh, okay.
Like for free.
I'm not trying.
The Batman I took care of once, twice, Tetris, Blowout. So I watched that.
What did you rate Tetris?
I gave it 3.5.
I need to watch that. I've heard some good things, but
I think it leans more towards a 3 out of 5. But I enjoyed Taron Egerton a lot.
I saw people throwing it from like all the way from 4.5 to like a 2.
Yeah,
like
it's
2. Yeah, it seems to be
polarizing reviews. Yeah. But I enjoyed it for what it was.
Fair enough. Cam, I'm assuming a lot of Star Wars this week.
Yeah, a lot of Star Wars. I did watch Women Talking, so I've seen all the Best Picture noms.
What did you think of it?
I loved it. It's incredible. Great. I
haven't seen it yet.
Just a great movie, really.
Dude, the acoustic score that's always just droning on in the background was stuck in my head for like 2 weeks after I saw that.
Yeah.
Shout out really Hildur Guðnadóttir. She also did Tar, but I think Woman Talking was a better score from her last year.
She did Joker too.
Right.
Really?
Yeah, I was talking about 2022 scores, but yeah, she's awesome.
Which one best original score over 1917?
Crazy, as far as I'm concerned.
And then I watched My Sister's Keeper, which I didn't love. I watched that with Emma. She wanted.
Why
to
do I
watch
recognize that name?
It's a movie where a girl is born. She's born like strictly to keep her sister alive. Basically, her sister has leukemia.
The Cameron Diaz one.
Yeah, the Cameron Diaz one. Her sister has leukemia, and then they have a daughter to be a match for her, like for her liver. And then the sister's like, "Hey, I don't want to do this anymore." That sort of thing. It's cry porn. I probably teared up a little, and I wrote in my review. I think so. I gave it a 2.5. I wrote in my review. I think I think a year and a half ago, I would have fucking hated this movie. I think having a kid, shit kind of hits.
You're now more vulnerable.
Yeah, I'm a lot more vulnerable. I still don't love it. It's just simply made to make you cry. But I guess it does a good job doing that. But I gave it a 54 out of 100. Didn't love it. Did not love it. And then Star Wars. Yeah, go Star Wars.
Go Star Wars. Tyler, what have you been watching this week?
Yeah, I watched a ton of movies this week just because I had 2 like 6-hour flights. So crossed off like 3 movies on each of those flights, and then I was at a hotel, which normally I could do my work during the day, and then that night really just go back to my hotel and just like watch movies. So crossed off a ton this week. I'm just gonna rapid fire through them. Dodgeball, huge thumbs up. One of the most quotable comedies of all time. Murder Mystery. I think I already saw this one, but I rewatched the original one, the first one. Thumbs down. I just hate that movie. This Is Where I Leave You, comedy drama with Adam Driver, Jason Bateman, quite a stacked cast, honestly. Way more drama than I was anticipating from the comedy drama. Like, it's definitely just like a bummer of a movie, but I enjoyed it. I don't think a lot of people love it, but similar to George, rewatched La La Land, banger. Also rewatched Little Women, banger.
The Netflix Little Women or the 2017 one?
The Greta Gerwig Little Women with Saoirse Ronan.
Was that Netflix?
Florence
It's on
Pugh.
Netflix. I don't know if it's Netflix. Yeah, it's a good film.
I don't know if it is in America, but I don't know. Watched Carol for the first time. It's a romance between Cate Blanchett and Rooney Mara, 2 of the greatest actresses working today, so that was quite solid. Watched Jobs, which is the Ashton Kutcher Steve Jobs version. Just such a poopy movie.
Why did you watch that?
Because I was just in my hotel, and I was the hotel TV only had Netflix, and it just came up, and it was late at that point, and I was just whatever, we'll throw it on. I saw it before when it came out, but yeah, not great. Just some other ones. Rewatched Coda, still love it. Rewatched Banshees of Inisherin, great.
Wow.
What?
You watched Banshees of Inisherin? Love that.
Yeah, rewatched it. Great.
I just didn't think you'd rewatch that. You know what I mean?
Well, so when I'm on flights, I always want to rewatch movies because I feel like watching something for the first time doesn't really give it justice on the plane. So
I agree.
Banshees was and that's a good one to just have some good dialogue while you're on a plane. Gave it probably 80% of my attention. And then Murder Mystery 2, just another thumbs down, just even worse than the first one, which already sucked. Wet Hot American Summer is an underrated comedy in my opinion. It's a style that
yes.
Yeah, it's a style that if you don't buy into it, you're gonna hate it. But if you can buy into that style, you'll enjoy it. Similar to George, I watched Tetris. I gave it a 3. I thought it was fine. Definitely not at all what I was expecting the backstory of Tetris to be. And then I went right from Tetris into watching Pinball, which back-to-back movies of just just did not expect the lore and history of these things to be the way they went. Pinball was very, very, very okay. Maybe worse than okay, honestly. Rye Lane, though, super good. It came out of Sundance.
How
and
did you
on
watch
Hulu.
that?
It's on Hulu.
We can't watch it, and it's an English film, man. It's annoying.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. The style is such a stylistic treat, and then also just a very good rom-com beyond that. Just a couple more. Blowout, we'll talk about that. Final 3 movies I watched was Jesus Revolution. Very okay movie that came out this year.
What?
It's about the revolution of Jesus. It's a hippies in California that started loving Jesus and spreading his word, and there's the hippie plus Christianity revolution of America and the Vietnam War.
How do you
times.
find these films? What?
This is it was a wide theater release. It's a
really?
Yeah.
That's a new release. That's a new release.
Yeah, it was
Jesus.
probably came out 3-4 weeks ago. Then watched Fast and Furious 1 and Fast and Furious 2, and I've only seen 1 or 2 Fast and Furious movies, and I can't tell you which ones they were. It was a long time ago.
Yeah,
probably 6.
Probably 7.
Probably. I had never seen the original ones. Everyone said they start off okay, but I think my peak for this series a 2.5 out of 5. I really don't care for these movies. I didn't like the first or second at all.
I did.
I don't know. I don't know if the second is regarded highly at all. The first is fine, but the second I just did not care for.
No, it takes an immediate. It's for me, it's like Pirates of the Caribbean, where it takes an immediate drop. I know you guys don't agree with that, but
yeah, I do not agree with that. But
I can't believe. I'm
That's
sorry.
such
Dead
a
Man's
crazy
Chest
thing to
is
say.
crazy.
Dead Man's Chest is fine.
The first is definitely the
It's a
best,
good
in my
movie.
opinion. For
You said it's a
Pirates.
good movie. Give it a 50.
I think everyone agrees with that. No, Dead Man's Chest, I have a 70.
That man's
Oh,
just
sorry.
so
World's
good.
End.
World's End, I have a 50, and then 8 and 9 after that.
I will say that they're
movies.
awful. The last 2.
Yeah, they're bad.
In terms of myself,
I was hoping you'd like the first Fast and Furious. Hey, sorry. So no one else rewatched the test. Paul Walker's audio is so odd in those movies because it sounds like he's right next to you every time he speaks, and he could be like a mile away. And it really throws me off. They're like audio editing, and that was super odd.
And he says "bro" so often, and it always sounds so bad. I don't know if that's like an inside joke from the creators, but it's not good.
It's because of the family. It's because of the family. They're like, wait a minute, they're brothers. They're bros. Family.
Fair enough. It says what I watched this week. I watched Mean Girls finally. It's so weird. I've never seen that before, but I could quote the whole film on my first watch. I have every single. It's mad how many lines I've heard from that film. It's crazy. It was good. I give it a 3.5. I enjoyed it. I watched The Cremator. I watched Waking Fright, which is like an Australian thriller. I watched Vampire. I watched Next Door. Evil Dead Rise. I spoke about Blowout, which boy will I get into because I fucking love that. And then yesterday I watched a film. I guarantee none of you have heard of it. It's got Kate Blanchett, Dame Judi Dench, and Bill Nighy. It's called Notes on a Scandal. Heard of it?
No, but I saw you watched it.
Yeah. I haven't. It was fine, but like considering that cast, I'd never heard it before. It was like a drama, romance kind of thing. But I didn't watch anything amazing this week apart from Blowout and maybe The Cremator as well. We will get in.
I should mention, I forgot to mention this in terms of my watches. I tweeted this. I've literally watched the entirety of Moneyball on TikTok this week, just through TikTok clips. I see that movie is all over TikTok for me right now.
I love when you do that because like I do that all the time where you get so locked into like part 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you're like, what the fuck?
It's not even parts though. I'm not going to a person's account. Like I'm just scrolling and there's like a new clip every 3 videos. It's the same with The Martian right now for me. Like those 2 movies are all over.
I still haven't seen The Martian.
The Martian's really good. You got to watch that.
Good.
We will move on to our draft of the week. I spoke about this a few weeks ago, but we're going to be doing a significant others genre draft today. I asked these to get their significant other to give one film, to give a couple of films from each genre: horror, thriller, romance, comedy, and sci-fi. We couldn't have any input, so I'm hoping none of you guys gave any input.
I'll be honest, guys. I asked Emma to give me hers at the start of this podcast, so that's my bad, everyone. She didn't have time to think.
Have you got them now?
Yeah, I got them, but I forgot to ask throughout the week.
Wait, so if you've got them, it's fine, doesn't matter.
Okay, yeah.
So we couldn't have any input at all, and we had to kind of like just take one chin, take the genres. The order today will be Tyler, me, George, and Cam. You can do any order. Doesn't have to be horror first, thriller second, whatever it might be.
I think the order should be. I think it should be Riley, Anna, Victoria, Emma. Mm-hmm. That's the order. That's the actual.
That is the order. Okay, Riley, you'll pick first. I'm speaking to him.
Okay, so
it's a bit weird.
So basically, she gave me 2 for horror and 1 for the rest of them. So basically, if like mine already get picked, or the one she said get picked, I have to just like
I made sure she gets.
Yeah, I'm gonna just have to pick something that's comparable. But I don't know. I don't think there'll be a ton of overlap in this draft.
Like About Time or La La Land because you couldn't get her.
No, but I'm taking first pick. No, first pick romance. La La Land is what I am picking, and that's what she picked.
Yeah, so she won.
Victoria had that on her list as well.
Shit.
Emma does not like La La Land.
La La Land was the only
like
of the 5 romance movies Victoria gave me. La La Land was the only one I have like above like a 3.5.
I'd never seen La La Land until just like a year ago, and then she was the one who showed it to me, and then ever since then I've been beyond obsessed with it.
I'll go for Anna's thriller. I'll go Get Out for Anna's thriller. That's solid choice. Yeah.
So Victoria had that on her Get Out on her thriller list too, and I thought we would have some pushback on that.
Really? In terms of like horror versus thriller.
Yeah, I think horror versus thriller.
I think it's more of a thriller.
No, yeah, I'm not complaining. I'm just saying.
It works.
All right, I think I'm gonna. I'm gonna go with Victoria. I'm gonna take her science fiction film first because she listed Back to the Future.
Wow, interesting. Yes. It's a great film.
Okay, I asked Emma her favorite genre, and she said horror/thriller. So I'm gonna choose for her. Actually, I can pick both. So for her thriller, she's going with The Silence of the Lambs.
Ooh,
wow.
And then I think it drops off from there. I don't even know what this movie is. It's a horror/thriller.
What's it called?
Well, Okay, I'm gonna. I guess we're counting this.
I mean, you might want to just pick it later if it's that obscure, but
it is obscure. But I'm going with her two favorites. Or not her two favorites. You guys aren't gonna pick.
Say the names.
Just give us the movie.
Sorry. Case 39.
Oh wow, really?
What?
I've never seen that.
I've seen that.
It's a horror / thriller. So either Silence of the Lambs or that could be used for either genre.
Is it the one with Renee Zellweger in Cam?
Yep, Renee Zellweger, Bradley Cooper, Ian McShane. Yeah. It has a 21% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, I know exactly what film it is.
I don't think that's her favorite horror thriller.
Quick pause before we go to the rest of the draft. What was your guys' strategy? Like, how did you bring this up to your significant others? I basically I'll read what the text I sent was.
Yeah,
how did you guys introduce?
I said I need a draft from you. LOL. Genre draft, one film from romance, sci-fi, horror, thriller, and then she gave me a bunch of random ones, and I was like, "No, what are your favorites?" And then this is.
Oh, I didn't even go that far. I said for Real Talk, I need you to name one random movie from each of these genres: horror, thriller, romance, comedy.
Random.
I didn't know it was favorites, but she gave me ones that are like.
I didn't know it was favorites either. So. I just told Victoria to give me random.
I am happy with the selection she gave me. Though,
I'm happy with the selection Victoria gave me, but I didn't know it was her favorites. I just thought it was like whatever she comes up with.
It was meant to be favorites.
It's okay. I think she basically gave me her favorites for all these, to be honest. So it works.
Victoria went with like letterboxed genres. So originally for like science fiction, she gave me Morbius and Megan, and I was like, those are not science fiction. I was like,
and those are not ones you want in your draft board.
Yeah, I was like, you better swap.
Yeah, but not. You have to take.
No. I was like, you better swap those out right now.
Right, George.
All right, it's my pick.
Emma's trying to tell me she's talked about this movie so often.
Case 39. I've never heard of this movie in my life.
You wouldn't like
to work.
All right, I think I'm going to go with. I'm going to take Victoria's romance film because I'm confident that the comedy will get back to me, and that is 10 Things I Hate About You.
I'm assuming she does love that.
That's from like early. Is that from like early 2000s at this point, right?
Late 90s.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
No, I don't know actually.
Wait, is that 10 Things I Hate About You? Is that the one with Heath Ledger?
That's what I'm thinking.
Okay. I love you. I don't know what the fuck it's called. 10. The Matthew McConaughey one. It's not that one. It's the Heath Ledger one. Isn't it?
Yeah, like.
Oh.
I'll go Anna's sci-fi. I'll go Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Wow.
Nice.
I like that pick.
He likes it more than I do.
So yeah, I like that pick a lot.
That's a good pick.
Okay, back to me for 2 picks. I will go with her thriller, which is Prisoners.
I'm shocked Emma didn't pick that. She loves that movie, but
you went through Case 39.
She gave me some interesting movies, man.
And then, because like Riley doesn't watch a ton of movies, so the only movies she's ever like seen now are the ones that she's watched with me. And so for horror, horror's the only one she gave me 2 for. So I'll pick the first one she gave me before she changed her mind. So I'll give the original pick, which is Hereditary.
No, that's the only horror. Oh no,
that's actually the only one that Anna gave me.
Anna gave me 3, but the thing is, then the other 2 aren't. This is going to be tough. Is it my go? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to say it because if not, then I'm kind of fucked to horror here. It is a horror comedy, so it is horror comedy. So I can have it, yeah? Horror comedy?
What's the movie?
You're going to take Shaun of the Dead.
Yeah, I am. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll give you
In fairness, no, but she only gave me Get Out, Hereditary. She hates horror. Get Out, Hereditary, and Shaun of the Dead. That's all I had. Shaun of the Dead is horror comedy.
That works. It's definitely very clear which one is going to be your draft now.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
I was going to say that Everything Ever All at Once threw a curveball into it, but now we're kind of back.
My draft.
Yeah. On Anna's draft. I keep thinking
Anna.
Her name is Anna because you say Anna.
No, I don't say Anna. That's
you say Anna?
He says Anna.
I think you say Anna. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
All right, I'm gonna go with Victoria's comedy. Now, I know there's one on this list that Victoria would love me to pick because it's one of her favorite comedies.
Pick it. Come on, pick it. You got Cam picking
want
Case 39 for Emma.
All right, fine. I'm gonna pick Good Boys.
What the hell is
No, that
what
that
is
can't
that?
be real. That's a comedy from like 2 or 3 years ago with Jacob Tremblay and the kid from what's he from?
I don't know, but that movie is hilarious. I will give her that.
Not funny.
Yes, it's not like that.
I don't think that movie's very funny.
I think it's pretty. Victoria thinks it's
That's fair.
hysterical.
It's like it was supposed to be like super bad, and
Yeah,
it's not
exactly.
super bad.
It's
It's not
not.
that low rated, to be fair. It's like
No, it's a
decent.
pretty highly rated movie.
I don't
Yeah.
think it's that funny. I don't know if I've rated it even.
I think it's good, but
So I'll take Emma's sci-fi Signs. That counts as sci-fi.
I
Right?
love
Nice.
Signs. Does she
I'd
like
say it works.
Signs?
She loves Signs.
What
I
up,
love Signs.
She showed me Signs.
It's a great pick.
Emma's
Yeah,
definitely
so
got the deepest cut on these picks.
Well, now her last couple are very just like these are movies I'd consider she likes more. So we'll go with her. I assume this is the romance. She's the Man.
yeah.
Is that the one with Channing
I've never
Tatum?
seen.
No, sorry, Chris
No,
Evans.
It's the one with
It's not-
Chris Evans?
No,
Channing
Chris,
Tatum. You're right.
she's the man.
What's Chris Evans? Then?
Oh,
I
I'm thinking
thought-
of She's All That.
No,
Yeah,
I-
you're
That's the
thinking
Addison
She's
Rae
All
one,
That.
right?
She's All
That's
That.
Addison Rae.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's what I was thinking at first.
He's All That.
He's all that.
Okay,
is-
yeah.
He's All
that's
That
the
is the Addison
original.
Rae one. Yeah.
Okay.
God.
Shout
George.
out Addison Rae.
Wait, which one's She's the Man?
I
She's
thought
the
that
Man
was-
is Amanda Bynes and Channing
man,
Tatum.
yes,
I've never
yeah,
seen it.
Oh, it is
Yeah.
Channing Tatum. Yeah,
I-
yeah, yeah.
I've
Classic.
like seen.
I've seen that plenty of times.
That's the one when
seen
she
that,
plays like a
like,
soccer
picture.
player, right?
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I get that. All right, I'm gonna go with Victoria's for thriller and horror. Victoria actually kind of blessed me, so I'm gonna take her thriller first and go with Shutter Island.
Ooh,
Good pick.
nice.
Yeah, she's a Leo stan.
I think
Oh,
Anna would hate
oh,
me
yeah.
if I didn't pick Anna's Romance. She would hate me. I'm gonna have to pick Mamma Mia, the first one.
I mean, that's a good
Oh,
pick.
that's a,
It's
and
her
a
like,
good
favorite
movie.
film.
That's
I
amazing.
I haven't
Mamma
seen
Mia
it yet.
2. So,
I haven't seen it in a
so
long
much.
time, but I loved it. The soundtrack's a banger.
Mamma Mia
ABBA.
2 is better for you.
Mamma Mia 2 is miles better for
It's
me.
not. That's
No,
so
it's not.
wrong. That's so
No.
Just simply
Okay,
is.
my last two picks.
Yeah.
So I guess I can go any order here. So the back-to-back picks: comedy, Game Night, and sci-fi Alien.
Is this your
Ooh.
draft?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's gotta be.
Game Night, La La Land, and Prisoners.
Can you read the screen?
It's all bullshit.
I will
these-
say, like, the
these are
one thing
texts.
Emma and I disagree on the most is just movies in general.
Yeah,
It's like
same.
her and I have the. No, I don't know if that's true. Anna's picking like
Anna's highest rated things are good, but then she has like George. You can back me up on this. You've seen some of Anna's ratings, the films I love.
Yeah.
Like, they are.
I mean, I've
bad.
seen them too. I follow her on
Good,
Letterboxd.
good
but
fellas at a 2 out of
Damn,
5.
if you want to hate Anna, she has Empire Strikes Back at a 1.
I
So
know,
there you
I
go.
know, I know. I've seen the
It's
ratings.
still 1.
Silly, but I've seen them.
That's a valid rating, low key.
Yeah, I agree.
Shit's ass.
Is it me or is it Tyler? It's me, isn't it?
You.
Yeah, it's you.
So I've got comedy left. Okay. Anna for comedy, her favorite comedy would be Knives Out.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
It's a good
So
pick, man.
Victoria put Knives Out on my thrillers list.
No,
That's
No.
no, right?
not a thriller.
Okay,
No.
that's what I was thinking. I saw it and I was like, whatever. I got the other 4, so it doesn't matter. But yeah, interesting.
Is it me?
It's
Or no,
me.
it's George. Okay.
It's George.
What do I have left? Horror. Okay, Victoria
Horror.
hates horror movies, so I think this kind of worked to my advantage because she's seen 2 recent, and then she just kind of probably Googled best horror movies of all time. So I do have Jaws on my list, and I will take Jaws.
Has she seen it?
Wait.
I don't
So
know.
you didn't ask her for like her first and then her backup?
No, I just asked her to give me a list of 5.
So she hasn't seen it. Oh, fucking hell. I wish I'd asked Anna this.
That's absolute bullshit.
All right, you want me? I
Yeah,
could change my answer to something she's seen.
yeah,
this
to
list.
something she's seen.
All right, fine. Midsommar. She has
Yeah,
seen Midsommar.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
It's
I feel
bullshit.
like fucking
Why is that
Case-
bullshit?
Cam's got case 39, man. At least give
The-
some
the-
Yeah, you know that's bullshit.
Yeah, and for proof, I sent my
Ironed
To be fair,
out.
I didn't specify. I meant favorite, but I didn't specify.
I feel like you have to have. I feel like we should have gotten like what they would pick in a draft.
That's what I
That's
did.
what I did. I
That's
asked
what I
for
did.
All right,
number one.
whatever. I just listen.
Midsummer's fine.
I don't care. I
Midsummer's
don't care.
All
Tom
right.
Fox,
Lastly, she's got her comedy, and she's going with Legally Blonde.
I haven't
Great
seen
movie.
that. Fair enough.
Movie.
Thumbs up.
It's a fun time.
Fair enough. Were there any
No,
backups that didn't get in your list?
Rated.
There were
Crazy Stupid Love and Hot Fuzz for Anna were nearly comedies, but
Emma's backups were Safe Haven, iRobot, Sinister.
iRobot. That's a classic.
Emma really tried to dog you in this job.
She had A Walk to Remember, 21 Jump Street. I would have liked more.
Tom, do you remember when you posted Emma's lowest 10 ranked films?
Yeah.
That would have probably done better because that was like
yeah,
like,
those
what
are like
films
her.
is that?
Yeah, she's got like Dune, The Social Network, like La La Land. She hates those
Interstellar.
movies.
Yeah.
Interstellar's on there. She hates Interstellar.
That's crazy.
A movie her and I really like. Now You See Me, the old
Good
Matt.
I haven't
movie.
seen that
Yeah,
one.
that's a good movie.
Now You See Me 2 is doo-doo, but
Victoria had High School Musical. I could have picked that for romance for Josiah. Twilight and The Holiday.
Is The Holiday the one that Hans Zimmer did? And I don't know why Hans Zimmer did
it is. I still haven't seen
I've never
it.
seen that.
Yeah, like as I sent you guys like the text thread that I sent to her, I just said like random movie, and she only gave me 6. So she gave me 2 horrors. Only one I didn't mention was Watcher. She was like, oh, if you need another one, like Watcher. But yeah.
So what would have happened if someone else picked like Prisoners or Hereditary?
I would have had to just be like, what other movies of that genre does she like? But thankfully,
I
we
got
come to that.
3
Sure,
for each.
Anna made sure Anna gave me like 3 for each because I thought
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
I didn't know if we were supposed to tell them that this was like a draft, so that's why I was like random instead of favorite, because I didn't know. I thought it was supposed to just be like,
I thought we were suped to say for a draft.
I was
like,
I
they want to
told
win
Victoria
this.
was for a draft.
Yeah, Victoria
Victoria,
cheated and was like knows what our audience is gonna take.
For this was Victoria. These were Victoria's 5 sci-fi films: Back to the Future, Dune, The Matrix, Minority Report, and Transformers.
you should have taken Transformers. That would have got votes. To be
Yeah,
fair.
that would have gotten votes, but no, I took my favorite. Also,
Anna
Back to the
Anna
Future is
said,
her favorite of those 5.
Crazy Rich Asians. Don't you guys like that? I haven't seen it yet.
I've never seen it.
Have you not seen it? Tyler, have you seen it?
yeah,
Crazy
I've seen it
Rich
twice.
Asians is fantastic.
Yeah, she really likes that. So
Yeah,
She gave me
Emma
Don't
likes it.
Worry,
I think
Darling.
you said Riley doesn't like
Riley
it. Right?
did not like it at all.
That's
Crazy
one of
Rich Asians?
that's one of Emma's like top 10 favorites, and or allegedly, I don't know. I made a video on it a while ago of her like favorites, and that's probably the only place her and I kind of overlap.
would you have taken MCU films in this? Depending on or super-
No, they're now superhero
Well, that's what I was asking.
genres.
'Cause she did give me Thor
They-
Ragnarok. That's her number 1 sci-fi, but I said no.
I would
'cause it's like-
I would have before this counted that for like a comedy.
Oversight?
now-
Yeah, I guess so.
But now
It's a
comic book
superhero.
movies are comic book movies and nothing else because George is a dickweed.
What are you talking about?
Oh my god. That I've never felt better about myself than posting that than when you posted
The
that
genres
genres draft to the ReelTok account, because everyone agrees that Dark Knight is a fucking action.
It is. It's just, but there's so many. It's like you have to.
That's
separate-
fine. That's why now comic book movies are comic book movies, and that's it. All right.
Every
I'm over
comic book
it.
film.
Yes, they're nothing
Even-
else. I swear to God.
Even Old Boy. Can I not be
Even
that-
Snowpiercer, yes.
Wow.
Oh
Okay.
wait, are those comic book movies? I
Yeah,
didn't
they
Yes.
are.
Yeah.
All right, that doesn't count. Whatever. I'm
Oh,
talking
well,
MCU,
now
DC.
you're
Yeah,
playing-
now you just make
Now
up
you're
rules.
Now you're just making up rules.
You guys are fucking.
Do we want to give a recap? Then I'll write it down.
Yeah, Tyler took La La Land, or
Riley.
my fault, took La La Land, Prisoners, Hereditary, Game Night, Alien. Anna took Get Out, Everything Everywhere, Shaun of the Dead, Mamma Mia, and Knives Out. Victoria took Back to the Future, 10 Things I Hate About You, Good Boys, Shutter Island, and Midsummer. And Emma took The Silence of the Lambs, Case 39, Signs, She's the Man, Legally Blonde.
Perfect. As usual, go over to our Twitter, vote on who you think won out of Anna, Riley, Victoria, and Emma. Shout out to our patrons. Again, please check out the patron tiers if there's any person that interests you to join the Patreon community. Special shout out to our executive producers as well: Al Bodie, Mac Wells, Marcellus, Mal Luti, Remy Walker, Seven Mod Jeffy, Ben Hansi, Benjamin Weish, Cameron Volker, Dean Pataman.
You got this.
Cotamandius. I spoke to him about this as well. He said everyone gets it wrong. Manidis. I'm saying that. Fernando for John Anderson, Jordan Gag, Reese David, Tobias Johnson, Will Kim, and Eunice BBX. As usual, if you've enjoyed the podcast, feel free to hit a like, rate us on Spotify because we are really reaching for those Spotify 1,000 ratings mark. Follow us on Instagram. TikTok, we're being a lot more active on there, posting the drafts and other content at the moment, as well as on Instagram. And follow us on Twitter because we're constantly updating news on there as well.
And
Hopefully you've enjoyed the episode. And Letterboxd, sorry, George, you've been updated there, haven't you? Follow us
Yes,
on
I
Letterboxd.
have.
Keep watching. Other than that, we'll speak to you all soon. Hopefully you've enjoyed the episode.